Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
Golden Rickets, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I am well. You've made my night. Before we get started, please go ahead and big up the greatest parish in Jamaica.
You're putting me on the spot. So I'm gonna big up St. Thomas because I was born there, and I'm also gonna big up St. Andrew because I grew up there.
I love that. I'll take that. 14.94 games record. You weren't playing about tonight, were you?
No, I definitely knew that the girls were coming out here to fight, so I had to bring my A game and war them.
What got you going? Was it the cold or was it something else?
It's the cold. I like competing in the cold for some strange reason, but then after the first jump, I feel like it got even colder, and then the breeze started changing. So, yeah, I don't know.
What next? What's next for you in terms of achievement? Because this is your greatest career medal, isn't it?
Yes. Apart from the World Championships, yes, this is my first gold. So what's next? I have the Monaco Diamond League next week, and I'm also going to be participating at the Knockout Championships in Bahamas.
Amazing stuff. And how does it feel to inspire the little kids in St. Thomas? Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them with their eyes gripped to the screen saying, I want to be like Golden Rickets.
Yes, definitely. I hope to be an inspiration to them. I hope they see themselves in me. If them foot long, them can try the triple jump. You know, if them slim, them can try the triple jump or even high jump.
What if them have short foot?
If them have short foot, then can try to cause some foot short too.
Amazing. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
My Talowers, how are you all? I hope you guys can hear me clearly. My audio isn't sounding that great. Maybe I need to turn something up my end, but I hope you guys can hear me clearly. If you can't, then do let me know in the comments section. Hope you've had a wonderful weekend. Let me know how your weekend's been. Happy Sunday. Who's the 3-point collectors? Let me know in the comments section. We're back for another Reggae Girlz weekend of action review. As ever, the first one through the door, Mr. Scott. Good day. How you? Fresh. How you, bro? Let me know how you're doing. How's your weekend? Oh, gosh. Wrong question. Wrong. I just remembered what happened today. Wrong question. I shouldn't be asking you that, but I hope outside of the obvious. I hope that you had a smashing weekend. And as always, thank you so much for your continuous support. And that goes for yourself, Mr. Scott, as well. And also the guys who are silently watching. Hopefully they build up the confidence to say something in the comment section. I don't buy, and I'm pretty sure neither does my subscribers there in the comment section. So get friendly and drop yourself a comment. Let me read through these comments quickly. Matter of fact, I'm going to put on these glasses because the lights hurt in my eyes again. And I should probably I should have turned it off when I was doing my setup. So let me just put it on just to protect my eyes. Yes, let's go through the comments. Oh, let's see what Fresh is saying. Touch the like button. Absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better. Do you go ahead and hit that like button for me, guys? You crossed my mind today, Fresh. You're one of those guys that are always supporting us YouTubers. I don't know how you do it. You're across just about every single platform that I know of anyway. So thank you for your support. And likewise to the guys again in the comment section. Thank you for your continuous support. Massive growth of the channel. Steadily growing. Maybe I should set myself a target for the new year, right? Maybe we should go for a target for the new year. Next year is going to be crazy. So many different tournaments, competitions, left, right, and center. Should be a cracking year for sports if you support Jamaica, that is, if you support the Reggae Girlz. If you're across your football and other sports, athletics being one of them, then we're in for a blockbuster next summer. Runners, good day to yourself. Pleasure to have you here, Runners. How was your weekend? How are the 3 points collectors? You guys are quiet on me. I wonder why. Do let me know how your weekend has been. Let me know what's on the dinner menu, guys. And you know what today's all about. It's a Sunday, so it's quite obvious. It is your Reggae Girlz weekend of action review. Little hint there. Let me give you guys a little rough update. A couple games have been postponed, and I'm putting that down to the weather condition. The weather is it's becoming very British over the last couple of days. It's become very British. So when I say that, you must know that the rain is here. It's looking a little bit gloomy, grey and gloomy outside. So that could have been one of the reasons why a couple games have been postponed here in the UK, and I'm going to get into all of that. I'm just looking at my notes. But before I touch on the weekend of action review, Runners has been busy. I can tell. I haven't seen you around there in a while. I hope you're in good health. I hope everything's fine with you, your end. Just bring back up my notes. So before we get into the weekend of action review, let's go ahead and look forward to the international break, and that is for the month of November. Thankfully, I have an itchy nose. Sorry, guys. I don't really want to scratch it in front of you, but I should probably do the trick. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, international break, guys. We do have a international fixture coming up. 2 games, a matter of fact, against Paraguay. And if you want to know about that particular fixture coming up for the November window, you can go ahead and watch the squad announcement. I did this one, I'm pretty sure it was over a week ago. Some welcoming news there with the return of Konya Plummer and also Shayna Matthews as well. So if you want to hear more about that particular fixture over against Paraguay, then you can go ahead and click this button that's this link that's on the screen in front of you, and that should take you to the live stream, which again was done some days ago. So Reggae Girlz versus Paraguay international friendly. Didn't have a friendly in October. You can tell I'm still a little bit bitter about that, but we do have a friendly coming up against Paraguay. So let me go ahead and give you guys some all important information for those of you who are keen to get yourselves either to Catherine Hall for the first fixture, or with the second fixture, which will be taking place in Kingston at the National Stadium.
Reggae Girlz hosts South American stars of Paraguay in 2 friendly internationals on November 10. Pack the Montego Bay Stadium and show some love. Grandstand $2,000, bleachers $1,000. Then on November 13, let's rock the National Stadium. Grandstand $3,000, bleachers $1,500. Students 19 and under with ID. Both games in the bleachers for only $500. Sponsors: bring out the family and show some love.
I hope the majority of you guys are going to those games. Maybe not both games. I'm not sure how everyone's financial position is. I don't know if everyone's financially stable in that regard. But if you can afford to go to both games, and you, more importantly, you have a ride to take you back home safe and sound, then yeah, why not? Show up in your numbers and support the girls. I'm going to give you guys some additional information regarding the tickets there, just in case that one was a little bit too quick for you. Should be able to see this one on your screen. Like I said, it will be Jamaica versus Paraguay. It is a series, 2 fixtures against said opponents. First fixture takes place on November the 10th. That's in some days' time. And that kickoff is scheduled for 8 p.m. Jamaica time, that is. And it is taking place at Catherine Hall. And you can see the ticket information there, grandstand. We got 2,000 there for grandstand, bleachers 1,000, students 19 and under with ID $500. I like this student offer that the Jamaica Football Federation have for the tickets there, and hopefully it stays that way. I think we need to tap into that market, that student market, whether it's college, university. We need to tap into that market because there's plenty young faces there, young people who I'm sure will be keen to get behind their country, be it either on the women's side of things or maybe for the reggae boys. All depends. And again, I'm going to leave this one on screen for you guys so you guys can make note of your ticket outlets of where to go to purchase your tickets. It says tickets go on sale on November 4th, so tickets are already on sale. And for the second fixture, again, this one is taking place at the National Stadium. Earlier kickoff, first kickoff is at 8 p.m. And the Sunday kickoff, which will be taking place on November the 13th, this one kicks off at 6 p.m. Again, these are all Jamaica times. I'm going to get into the UK times in a second. Grandstand, a little more pricier than the Catherine Hall fixture. That one is pretty much for obvious reasons, isn't it? But thankfully, for your students and under 19, again with ID, your tickets remain the same. The price of your ticket remains the same, both for the Catherine Hall Stadium and the National Stadium. That is, your ticket is priced at $500. Grandstand tickets for the National Stadium priced at $3K. Bleachers priced at 1,500. And there you have a number of ticket outlets there. So pick your closest outlet preferred to your location, I'm assuming, and get yourself down to the National Stadium. It also says ticket booth at the National Stadium, so maybe that's more convenient for those of you who are preoccupied with your personal life or your 9 to 5. Maybe you want to buy a ticket from the ticket booth at the National Stadium. So that is also a option there for you guys, right? And also, whilst I'm at it, let me go ahead and just jog your memory. And I guess it's only right to go ahead and tap into, if I can get it up, that is. If not, I'm just gonna go ahead and read it out to you guys. Guess it's only right for us to go ahead and look at our squad announcement. Let's look at our squad list. Again, this probably sound a little bit repetitive to those of you who have been watching my live streams over the last couple of days or so. And let's just go ahead and give you guys a friendly reminder. Apologies to those of you who have been here over the last couple of days. Yes, it does sound repetitive, but I'm just trying to bring us all on the same page. So I do apologize. So let's go ahead and read out the squad list for the Paraguay series. Again, that's 2 friendlies there for the international window for November. And again, just so you guys are aware, there's 2 fixtures there, one at the Catherine Hall Stadium and the second at the National Stadium. And I guess we can read this. I like to call it the right way, tongue twister, right way of reading out a squad announcement. And that simply means I'm starting between the sticks, because I kind of feel like that's just the right way to do things. So here we have Rebecca Spencer, Sydney Schneider, and Leo Brooks. Midfield option consists of Drew Spence, Chinelu Asher, Havana Stallone, Shania Hales, Chanel Buckley, Zoe Matthews, Rachel Jones, Trudy Carter, Tierney Wiltshire. In defense, we have the Swaby sisters, so that's Alison Swaby and Chantel Swaby, Konya Plummer, Satara Murray, Denden Blackwood, Siobhan Wilson, and Vian Sampson. And up top, our forward selection consists of Khadija Shaw, Shayna Matthews, Jody Brown, Paige Bailey Gale, Tiffany Cameron, Kayla McCoy, and Atlanta Primus. And you would have noticed there that there is a return, the welcome return there of Konya Plummer and also Shayna Matthews as well. Also looking forward to seeing senior team debut. Hopefully, I'm definitely excited by the bright prospect of Chanel Buckley. And if you haven't seen Chanel Buckley, you might need to bring yourself over to the CONCACAF YouTube channel and watch one of her games for the underage group, and that's for the Reggae Girlz, obviously, and familiarize yourself with the player. Or you could just wait for the fixtures there against Paraguay. Hopefully we'll see her take to the field of play and grab some minutes under her belt. No pressure, obviously. She is young, raw talent, but she is a young player, so definitely no pressure. Miss Rochelle Brown, how are you? Good night. How you doing? Good to hear. Have you been knackered? I'm tired. I fell asleep twice today. That's how tired I've been, guys. I'm absolutely shattered. This week, work absolutely done a number on me, because I don't know how I managed to fall asleep twice within the space of maybe an hour. Woke up and then fell back asleep. So I am tired. I hope you guys are well rested for the week ahead. And I hope that you smash your goals out the park. And if you're just tuning in and you're wondering what's going on with the Paraguay friendly, if you want to find out some all important information, let me give this one another spin for you. And then I will get into the all important Reggae Girlz Weekend of Action review.
Reggae Girlz hosts South American Stars of Paraguay in two friendly internationals on November 10. Pack the Montego Bay Stadium and show some love. Grandstand $2,000, bleachers $1,000. Then on November 13, let's rock the National Stadium. Grandstand $3,000, bleachers $1,500. Students 19 and under with ID. Both games in the bleachers for only $500. Sponsors. Bring out the family and show some love.
Good night, King Charles. How you doing? Always good to see you there in the comment section. Let me just bring up a extra bit of information for those of you who are based in the UK, a bit like myself. So that fixture there, which is scheduled to be played on Thursday, the 10th of November, that one is actually played at 1 a.m. on Friday, the 11th of November. For those of you who are based in the UK, listen carefully. For those of you who are based in the UK, a bit like myself, kickoff is 1 a.m. on Friday, the 11th of November. And on Sunday, which will be Sunday the 13th, the second kickoff starts at 11 p.m. UK time. The clocks have gone back, so we're now 5 hours ahead of Jamaica. So don't be confused by the times. And I hope that you guys tune in and watch your girls. Looking forward to watching them play. Will it be shown on TV? I hope so. I hope it's showed on free-to-air television. I'm hoping that it's showed on TVJ Sports for you guys, that is, based on home soil. Why not? I think all of these games played for the national team should be shown on free-to-air television. I don't understand why, outside of the politics, that is, which shouldn't be a thing. I think when you're trying to galvanize a nation, it has to be on offer for free. And not everyone have access to bank accounts and are able to purchase sports channels and all of that, or even something as simple as the internet. Not everyone is in a stable financial position, so it should be on free-to-air television, but it's probably loaded in politics. But I'm hoping, like I said, that this one will be shown on TVJ. I'll try and find out for you guys where it will be shown. Probably the usual. I hope not, but it's more than likely to be the usual, right? But for you guys' sake, I hope not. Good night. Good night. How are you? It has been a while. How have you been? I've been all right. I've been tired, a matter of fact. Been so tired over the last couple of days. Always happy to see you. Is it a solo lead? Is it a solo lead? I'll drop the link in the comments section in a short while. Mikey's probably in hiding. His team got handled by Mr. Leon Bailey and Unai Emery today, didn't they? So yeah, he's definitely in hiding. Send him a text, tell him I said hello, ask him how's he doing. If he had any hair on his head, he would have lost it at the end of full time. So thankfully, he's well polished. But I've not messaged him. But I know if I was in his position, he would be sending messages to my phone. But I've decided to leave him alone and let him calm down a bit. But outside of that, I hope you guys are having a lovely Sunday. Our girls, what does this say? Let's bring back something up on screen quickly. Our girls doing great this season in their leagues, and it's good to see. Absolutely right on cue. So I guess now it's time to dive into the weekend of action review. Definitely right on cue. And you know how we're going to do this, right? You know that I'm always going to start off in the UK for no particular reason aside from country of location. And you guys haven't told me to do things differently. So as I've said, until I'm told otherwise, I will continue to act accordingly. If you guys want me to switch things up week by week and start off with a different league as the week comes and goes, then let me know and I'll make some adjustments. Until then, I'm going to stick to doing things the same. Right, so let's dive into the WSL. And for those of you who are wondering, the WSL is the top flight of women's football here in England. And you guys should be able to see this one in front of you. Let me go ahead and check it. Yeah, you can. Bit rude of me. Let me remove my headline there so you guys can read this one clearly. It's a little bit small, isn't it? So shall I try and zoom in a little bit, see if I can help you guys out? Hopefully that's made a difference. Let's go a bit. Yeah, that should be better for you guys, right? Let me check that and see. It doesn't look like it's made a difference to me, but it's increased the font size on my end, but I don't think it made a difference to you guys. So sorry about that. I did try, but it's not really made a difference. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the results for the WSL. And if you're focused on the Reggae Girlz there, current girls playing for us, you'll be looking at Tottenham and also Manchester City. Tottenham, you can see there that their game against Everton, that one was postponed to be decided. So that this particular match will be rescheduled in due course. So the next game for us to focus on, before I actually move on, just give you guys a friendly reminder that Tottenham is the home of Drew Spence and Rebecca Spencer. So you can go ahead and note that down. And if you support Tottenham's men's team, it makes perfect sense to support the women's team as well, especially considering that they have 2 Reggae Girlz playing for them. So go ahead and give them your full support and watch them just like how you watch the men's team. They probably make you happier anyways. Probably of the 2, they're probably the ones who are more likely to win a trophy. So go ahead and give them your full support. Other team there for you guys to keep an eye on, like I've already stated, is Manchester City. And that is the club belonging to Khadija Shaw. That's Bunny Shaw for those of you who solely follow her at the international level, our skipper, our captain. And you can pretty much read this full-time result for yourself. Sorry about that. My phone just fell. Clearly it says 3-0, and we're looking at a fixture that was played earlier on today. And it's in the WSL, again, top flight of women's football in England. The all-important information that you guys are always seeking is, did she score? Of course she scored. Never, ever ask yourself that question. Once she's starting, once she's coming off that bench, once she's been given the equality fixed with the equity, of course she's going to deliver. And she's done that again. Different week, same old Bunny. And what that means is Bunny Shaw scored in the second half, as you can see right there on your screen, the 76th minute, as Manchester City extended their winning run to 5 games with a 3-0 win over Reading in the Barclays Women's Super League. And we've been talking about Manchester City week in, week out. Thankfully, they've managed to develop some winning momentum. Didn't start off well for them. That's the league season, that is. And I guess you could say the same for the Champions League, exit the early qualifying rounds of this season, Champions League, at the hands of Real Madrid. Bit of deja vu result there, considering what happened in last season's campaign. And if we look at how they started off in the league, you can clearly see here a bit of a unexpected scoreline on the opening day of the season, losing 4-3 to Aston Villa. Not many people saw that one coming, right? And that's the other result there in the Champions League back in August. Then they went on they picked up back-to-back losses. The second loss of the season there came at the hands of Chelsea, and then they pick things up against the Foxes. And who's on the scoreline with a double, with a brace? None other than Bunny Shaw. They're inspiring Man City that was their first win of the league campaign. And then they went on to securing back-to-back victories at the expense of Drew Spence and also Rebecca Spencer as well, bunny with another brace in her back pockets. And you can pretty much see how this one panned out, completely hammering Blackburn Rovers in the FAWSL Cup. They're putting 6 goals past them. Good game to watch if you support Manchester City and Bunny Shaw. And this one was a mouth-watering fixture. Manchester City, they took on the current reigning champions of the championship. So Liverpool came up from the championship. So that's the league just below the WSL. And they hold the crown. Obviously, that simply means with their promotion, you will have a newly crowned champion in the championship. That's the English Women's Championship, by the way. And hopefully it will go to one of our Reggae Girls because there's quite a few of them playing in the second tier of women's football in England. Right, again, looking at this result, it's not really a surprise, is it? Bunny Shaw in the heart of it, inspiring her team to a pivotal victory over Liverpool. I think this is a Liverpool side that people expect big things from. So it was nice to see them get tucked in and sent to bed. Long may it continue as long as there's a Reggae Girls involved. And then we just fast forward and this just takes us to the present, which is today. I've already gone over today's results. So I don't really think I need to reiterate that one. If you go ahead and look at the table, and this is how things looking in the WSL. Arsenal out in front there on 18 points. Been a change of guard between the third position and the second position, and also first as well. Top 3 position, top 4 position. It's ever changing in the WSL. It's looking like how you would expect the league to pan out in terms of the league standing. Arsenal again out in front on 18 points, currently holding on to a unbeaten season. Quite similar to last season's campaign. I'm not going to remind you guys the first team to beat Arsenal last season. A little bit caught up about that, but we're not going to dive into that. And Bunny Shaw and Manchester City, they're currently sat in 4th position, and hopefully they will continue to grind out the necessary results and climb higher up the table. Who knows? Maybe they might leapfrog the Gunners and find themselves sitting at the top of the table. So let's just go over what I have been saying over the last couple of weeks. So far, 6 games played, 4 wins, 0 draws, 2 losses, and they are on 12 points. And just beneath them, pretty much neck and neck between the 3 Reggae Girls there. That's Bunny Shaw for Manchester City, Drew Spence and Rebecca Spencer for Tottenham. Tottenham sitting on 9 points, quite similar to Manchester City. Hopefully they can continue to climb up the table. 5 matches played. Again, their game this weekend was postponed, so they now have they look like they have 2 games in hand, a matter of fact. So Man City also have a game in hand because there's been 7 games played for Chelsea and a couple of other teams. So Bunny has a game in hand, and Spence and Spencer have 2 games in hand. So for the time being, they've played 5 matches, 3 wins, 0 draws, 2 losses, sitting on 9 points. So that's how things is looking in the top flight of women's football in England. Let's go ahead and see what you guys are saying in the comment section. Seems like I'm ignoring you, but I'm not. I got caught up looking at that results there in the table. Hot Chili Pepper, how are you, sir? Good day. How you doing? What's on the dinner menu, guys? Spurs and Chelsea make me sick. Hello, guys. That is the word. That's a comment from Hot Chili Pepper, okay? That's not me. Whether or not I agree, that's a completely different story. But that's coming from Hot Chili Pepper, not me. All right? He says she scores every game these days, so I don't think even ask if she will. Obviously, he's referring to Miss Khadija Shaw there. Mr. Stennett, how you doing? How you been? It's been a while since I've seen you around here. Villa has a way of beating bigger teams from time to time. Yeah, they're in their honeymoon period at the moment, aren't they? So long may it continue for the sake of Leon Bailey, that is. Hopefully he continues on a positive trajectory. I'm praying that he doesn't pick up an injury because injury seems to be his best friend. Hopefully he can shake off picking up a injury. Mr. Scott says, and Jody Brown scored a winning goal for her club in the final. So many tongue twisters. Is that a new story? Our girls are always delivering. Liverpool humbled on that day. Oh gosh, well, we're having the same thing for dinner. That's my menu. That's my dinner menu today, and also for tomorrow as well. Made my colleague some curry goat and rice because she told me that she tried it from, I don't know if she said from a restaurant or from someone else, but whichever it is, I did tell her that I would make her some, and I've gone ahead and I've done exactly that. All right, enough of the extra chatter. Let's just move on to the second tier of women's football here in England. So let's go to the championship. I'll give you guys a little heads up, reiterate what's already been stated. There's a couple postponed match this weekend. We have a couple postponed games here and there. So let's go ahead and take a look at them and let's see how they affect the Reggae Girlz. Let me just bring something up my end. And good day to those of you who are tuning in. Classic, it's one of my favorites. It is one, you guys should know me by now. It's definitely one of my favorites. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the championship. Again, that's the second tier of women's football in England. I'm hoping that the font isn't too small for you guys. I keep increasing it, but it's hardly making a difference, is it? Anyways, let me just dive into this one for you. So you can see the game there, Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United. For those of you who are wondering, Crystal Palace is the home of Paige Bailey Girls. So if you're looking for a women's football team to support here in the UK, in England, you can go ahead and support a number of clubs, or be like me and support them all. Which is actually a good option when you have the classic Reggae Girlz Derby. So that, if you guys are wondering what is the Reggae Girlz Derby, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's when you have one reggae girl versus another reggae girl competing against each other for their respective clubs. And we had that this weekend. If my memory serves me well, I'm sure we had a Reggae Girlz Derby this weekend, but we're going to find out in a few. So again, Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United. This game will be rescheduled. As you can see there, it says to be decided, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Currently, Crystal Palace are positioned in the 5th position in the league table. 7 matches played, 4 wins, 0 draws, 3 losses, 12 points in their back pocket. If we backtrack just a little bit, you can see Bristol City. That's the next club I had in mind. So perfect. Another game where a reggae girl is expected or was expected to play. Their game here is another postponed match. And in spite of having a game postponed this weekend, they're still hanging on to the number 1 position there in the championship. And this club, Bristol City, I don't think I've stated it already for you guys, giving you guys a little friendly reminder there. Bristol City, that's the club belonging to Shania Hales. 7 matches played, 6 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. Currently the only unbeaten team there in the second tier of women's football in England. That's the Barclays Women's Championship. And they are on 19 points there, just to reiterate myself. In second position, there is, and there it is. There's the Reggae Girlz Derby. I know I wasn't going crazy. I know there was a Reggae Girlz Derby this weekend. London City, home of Atlanta Primus, and Birmingham City, the home of Siobhan Wilson. Bit of a entertaining scoreline there, and a bit like myself, if you're like myself and you're supporting both teams and both players, you can't really go wrong, can you? You're going to win. The result will work in your favor. So that's a positive when you're supporting these Reggae Girls and they go head to head. You're bound to be the happier one of the three, or whichever number of girls are playing for their respective club at the time. And if you're in London and you're back in London City, then this one works in your favor, doesn't it? Atlanta Primus and London City sealed a 3-2 win over countrywomen Siobhan Wilson and Birmingham City in the Barclays Women's Championship. Right, so let's go ahead and look at the lineups, the all important lineups. I know that's what you guys are concerned about. So you can see there in the with the number 20 next to her name, Atlanta Primus. That's to the left of me. So I'm not sure if you guys can see my mouse hovering over the player. Hopefully you can. If not, take a quick little glance towards the lower half of your screen and you should be able to see Atlanta Primus. And to my right, donning the number 14 jersey is Siobhan Wilson. So if you want to get behind London City and Birmingham City, or either or, you can go ahead and purchase your Atlanta Primus number 20 jersey or your number 14 jersey for Birmingham City and Siobhan Wilson, and that goes for all of our Reggae Girls, by the way. Definitely not going to pick a favorite with this one. If you're planning on supporting Bunny, then obviously do the same. So let's go back and look at the table. Sitting at the top of the league, still hanging on to the number one position is Shania Hills and Bristol City, and sat in the second position is Atlanta Primus and London City, and in fifth place, temporarily I hope, is Paige Bailey Gale and Crystal Palace. And in seventh, we have Siobhan Wilson. Hopefully, you can see Crystal Palace and Birmingham City leapfrog the other teams there and pull themselves higher up the table. But so far, let's give that a little count. We have 4 teams there with Reggae Girls currently playing for the senior team, that is. So I think it's pretty safe to say at least one Reggae Girls coming to top flight of women's football in England next year, right? Because there's no way that they're going to lose grip of the number one position, or put themselves in those promotional slots to be promoted to top flight of women's football here in England. Mr. Miller, good day. How you doing? No rice and peas this time. Just warm up some free dry stuff later at work. When you're on the night shift, enjoy and stay safe. I love that. It is the Reggae Girls League. Look at it. I mean, we're there in 1, 2, 4, and 7. We're all over the place there, and long may it continue. So yeah, I'll second that. The women's championship here in England, definitely the Reggae Girls League. Based on Shaw's form, it's expected of her to score in every game this season, with a few hat tricks as well. Definitely keeping my eyes peeled for a few Khadija Shaw hat trick. All right, I'm gonna have to speed this one up because it's coming up to 11 o'clock, and I'm going to need my rest for my early start, the dreaded Monday morning. Okay, all right, so whilst I'm at it, I think now it's time to take a trip to Scotland, guys. So let's go ahead, and I guess I can close a couple of these tabs because won't be needing them. I've already said what needs to be mentioned. So let's take a little trip to Scotland and see what Kayla McCoy and Rangers have been up to. Do I have them on another tab, or is it just this one? Check if you guys can see that. Can you see it? Okay, let's give that a little refresh because clearly this game was played 1 p.m. my time. So I've got the score line for you guys, full time score for you guys, and the details from that game. But let's just see if I can do a refresh. That is pretty poor. I kind of feel like every week I'm having a go at Google and football played in Scotland because everything just seems to be delayed. All right, let's see if I can do this another way for you guys. If not, okay, I like it when you guys can look at a little bit of a graphics. I don't really want you guys just staring at a blank screen. So let me just change that to something else for you guys. Bear with me quickly. Let's see if I can get something up. I have a real problem with Google these days. So let's see if I could might have to. What did I have anything on there? All right, let's see. Let me do something. Okay, all right. So let's go over to their Twitter account. Has it changed? I hope it's changed on your end. Should be able to read this one if I could maybe scroll down so you guys can look at your all-important player, one of your favorite Reggae Girlz, that is. A warm embrace there between Kayla McCoy and her teammate, and it's for a very good reason. Kayla McCoy netted from the penalty spots as Rangers sealed their ticket to the Sky Sports Cup final with a 4-0 win over Spartans. So again, if you're looking for a team to support that belongs to a Reggae Girl, then Scotland Rangers is an option. And whilst you're in Rangers, also Hearts is an option. Hearts is the club belonging to Vian Samson. So you're pretty much spoiled for choices across the board, especially if you're in Europe, where things are a little bit more accessible in terms of going to these games and also watching these games as well. You can go ahead and support either Kayla McCoy with Rangers or maybe Vian Samson with Hearts. All right, so let's go over and let me see. This light is killing my eyes. Let's go over and let me sit back a little bit. Let's see Hearts. I'm give this a little refresh actually. It's still Let's see what Hearts is saying, guys. Let's bring up the result of Vian Samson's game. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to get up something extra because unless I've completely butchered my research earlier on, I'm not sure why it's saying 0-0 because it shouldn't be saying 0-0. Should be saying something completely different. Should actually be saying 3 points in the bag for Vian Samson and Hearts. So I might as well just head over to their slide is killing me. I might as well head over to their Twitter account because Google is playing games. Yeah, that result is incorrect. All right, so let's go over to their Twitter account because sometimes Google can't be trusted and they completely butcher things when it comes to Scottish football for some reason. All right, guys, bear with me. Let me just bring up. I've given up on Google when it comes to Scottish football, but yeah, there you have it. You can pretty much read this one for yourself. If not, I'll go ahead and read it for you. And what that means is Vian Sampson and Hearts secured a crucial 1-0 victory over Hamilton in the Scottish Women's Premier League. That is the top flight of women's football in Scotland. I can also give you guys something a little bit extra, which I'm assuming you guys will want to have a look at, is the all-important starting 11. And you can see there, donning the number 18 jersey is Samson. So again, if you're searching for a team to support a women's football club that is linked to the Reggae Girlz, then Hearts is an option for you. And why not go ahead and buy the number 18 jersey? Support your girl. So that is how football is looking in Scotland. I'm going to take a quick little trip to Hungary. The lights is extra bright tonight for some reason. Hang on, guys. See something. It's killing me. Okay, I've had to turn it down just a little bit. Not even these glasses are helping me tonight. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick little trip to Hungary. Now, if I'm going to Hungary, you must know why. You must know my reason for doing so, and you definitely should know that I'm making a trip to Hungary for two reasons. Marla Sweatman for Victoria and also Tiffany Cameron for Eto FC. You can see a bit of a unfortunate result here for Marla Sweatman's club. That's Victoria, for those of you who are wondering, and they fell to a narrow 1-0 defeat, an away defeat it is. And this is for Hungarian football, the top division in Hungary there, guys, in case those of you are wondering. So not the result we would have wanted this weekend, but hopefully Victoria and Marlo Sweatman can bounce back after the international break. So we can go ahead and let me just backtrack a little bit and see if this one works. It doesn't usually work, but let's see if it works. Does it work? Yes, it does. You can see Tiffany Cameron there for Eto FC. They're currently sat in the second position. 10 games played, 8 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Marla Sweatman's team, 10 games played, 2 wins, 3 draws, 5 losses. So we can look at Eto FC quickly here for Tiffany Cameron. Whilst I'm talking about jerseys, there you go. That's 2 more options for you, either Eto FC or Victoria FC. You guys are absolutely spoiled for choices. So Tiffany Cameron produced a goal and an assist as Eto FC reclaimed second place in the Hungarian top division, beating their opponent 7-1. They gave them a spanking, and rightly so. Long may it continue. 5 points off league leaders. That's the former club of Tiffany Cameron, but they are just, listen, I don't even know if I can, superwomen, is that what they are? I mean, they've got a goal difference of 85 of the 10 games played. 85 is your goal difference. Yeah, you're definitely on the right path, and I hope that you fall off at some point, or at least get that unbeaten record beaten, preferably against one of the Reggae Girlz. It would be nice if it is Eto FC and Tiffany Cameron breaking their unbeaten streak. But we're gonna have to keep an eye on how things pan out in Hungary for Eto FC and also for Victoria as well, for Tiffany Cameron and Marla Sweatman respectively. Now we can go ahead and look at the Czech Republic. And if I say the Czech Republic, you should already know who I'm looking to focus on. See, doing well, but they can't keep up with. I mean, it's just outrageous. It's outrageous. Like I said, if they can get that unbeaten streak broken, I'll be delighted. It's just incredible. Yeah, they are. You can't even take it away from them, can you? Absolutely incredible from Tiffany Cameron's former club. Current league leaders, I'd like to say hopefully for not much longer, but when you're on a goal difference of 85, it's going to take something special to knock you off your stride. 10 games in, 10 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. Incredible stuff. So we are looking at Slavia Prague, and we're in Czech Republic, guys. Top flight of women's football in the Czech Republic. So that clearly means that we're here to look at Alika Keane, back-to-back 10-0. I've done a combination there. Back-to-back 5-0 victories there. I had a midweek fixture played on I had a midweek fixture played on Wednesday, and they picked up a 5-0 victory, and this was a beautiful sight because they actually brought an end to how do you pronounce their name? Slovako, I think that's how they pronounce their name. They were on a unbeaten streak, and they were handed their first defeat of the season. This was a game that was played on Wednesday. Slavia Prague, again, that's the club belonging to Alika Keane. Fast forward to yesterday's results. Again, another 5-0 victory in their back pocket for Slavia Prague and Alika Keane. So good steady reading there. They're at the top of the table. Only 2 teams currently hold an unbeaten record: Slavia Prague and Sparta Praha. That's their closest rivals. Keane and Slavia Prague out on 25 points. League leaders, 0 losses in their back pockets. 9 matches played, 8 wins, 1 draw. Long may it continue. The next team, hopefully they'll be losing their next game after the women's international break. That's Sparta Praha. I'm hoping that they get their wings clipped relatively soon as well. And hopefully, Slavia Prague and Alika Keane can continue to dance off into the sunset. So at least we got one of our wishes, guys. We were hoping. I'm going to say we, although I was the one who said it. I'm going to say we. I'm going to bring us all into this, that we were all hoping that Sparta Praha and Slovako could lose a game or 2. They basically get their unbeaten record smash. And it's happened to one of them. So the next team in sight is Sparta Praha. Hopefully they lose their next game. Take a quick little break and see what you guys are saying in the comments. Remember, I'll be at the game on Thursday night, so I can definitely. Oh, you are a wonderful man. How am I going to say no to the king? Am I really going to say no to King Charles? Of course not. Yes, please, with a cherry on top. I would love to have you phone in. You know the number already. And yeah, I would like to get chatting with yourself. And thank you for putting yourself forward. Definitely appreciate that. Wow, 28 of you have hit the like button. I don't have to do you guys bad tonight. I don't have to rough up anyone tonight. So thank you for hitting the like button. I know you guys like to play games with me on the like button now and again, but I've realized that the longer I'm away from live stream, the nicer you guys are when I come back. I don't know why that is, but it seems when I stay away from live stream and I make a return, you guys hit the like button without me having to ask. And I kind of like that. So maybe that's the trick. Alika Keane is at Slavia Prague. So let's take a quick little trip to France. And if you're going over to France, then you already know who we're there to see. And if you don't know, well, you're about to find out. So let's start off with FC Flohi. That is the club belonging to Chantal Swaby. Bit of a good result, not even a bit of a good result, definitely a fantastic result for Chantal Swaby there and FC Flohi, considering what happened last time round. Last Sunday, they lost 1-0 against Leon. They also play the duration of the game with 10 players there. To lose 1-0, narrow 1-0 defeat as well, guys. Leon scored in the 90 plus minutes. And it was Renard as well, with the all important match winner there. But to lose 1-0 against Leon, it's hardly a shameful result, is it? More importantly, it's not really about whether you lose or not. It's always about how you bounce back, and they've done exactly that. You can see here, this one pretty much reads for itself. SC Flahy again defeated their opponents 3-0. And this is in the top flight of women's football in France. If I scroll down, you can see that they're situated in the... I can hear my phone vibrating, but I don't have a clue where it is. Where is it? I'm going to find it in a bit. I can hear it vibrating there. All right, so yes, you can see that they're situated in the 8th position. But enough of me rambling on. I know you guys want to know the all-important details of this game outside of the obvious. They've bounced back to winning ways, 3-0 victory. That is, more importantly, Chantal Swaby's assisted FC Flahy with the opening goal, and with that assist, saw the French side bounce back to winning ways again, playing in top flight football over in France. So again, a bit like the rest of the Reggae Girlz, long may it continue. Managed to find my... Oh my gosh, wow, got a couple missed calls here, guys. Let me just make a couple phone calls. Who was the last person to call me? Let me just return a couple phone calls here, guys. Let me... one moment. Like I said, guys, it's not every day that you get the king calling into your show. How are you?
I am doing fine. How you are?
I am well. You sound smooth. What's the secret?
I listen to too much Sade, she say. So I become the smooth operator today.
Wonderful stuff. Always good to hear from you. You sound like you're in good health.
I am. Thank you. Pleasure hearing you too. And it would be a miss of me if I didn't talk to you today, because the last time we spoke, I gave you a promise that if I go to the match, we could do a live. And of course, I am confirmed for that match. So,
yes.
So yes, if it is your wish, it can be done.
Listen, that is definitely what... Christmas has come early for me, that's for sure. It would be outrageous of me to have you at a game and not take you up on your offer. Of course, again, thank you for putting yourself forward. But yeah, I would love if you called in whilst you're at the game.
Sure, consider that a deal. It's just a pity that I don't have my Tolerate t-shirt to wear inside there. I'll be telling them that I'm representing Talawa TV. And the charming and lovely Crystal Davis, and they would be like, what?
Oh God, one day it will happen.
I know.
I know you're a little bit disappointed that your one of your favorite players there didn't receive a call up as well, right?
You know what? I am in a sense, but Kanye is back. Den is back, and the crew is there. It's for me. It's not about she has to be in every game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it was done, and they know that we all as fans, we do have our favorites, and said, so I'd love the question to be asked why she was left out. Give them the chance to answer to that question without even poking any assumption in between.
Mm-hmm.
Just to hear what they have to say. If it's something mutual, then hey, that's fine. Although I've done my investigation and I am almost I'm close to 90% accurate by saying it's not a mutual thing. It's a coach's decision, and so I'd love to ask the coach why from his point of view. Not to knock him, because at the end of the day, everyone cannot be played. There's no way. And at one stage in the last encounter, I thought he could have rested Jody Brown because somehow she looked a little bit tired to me. You understand? And she's also one of my favorite players too. So, I mean, you know, I'm a balanced person. And if it is a good reason why he leaves her out, I'm all for that, you know. But I hope it's not something hideous. And that's my major concern.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This sounds interesting. I think it's more of a you know, just like you said, it's a coach's decision. It's no secret that every coach, every manager have their preferential choice, and maybe it might just be something as simple as that's what he would prefer over the play that we're referring to.
I hope so. That's what I'm leaning towards, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, as journalists, we have to dig deep to see if there are any hidden factors there.
Yeah.
Because our charge is to bring out, unearth anything that is underneath festering. You understand? That's what we get paid for. Well, maybe you, not me, but that's not a little story.
Now, I prefer we. I prefer the we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You prefer the we.
I prefer the we. They have to speak these things into existence, so I prefer the we.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just as simple as maybe two things. You know, managers have their favorites. There's no secrets behind that, and also it's just another fact is that not everyone can play. It's sad to say, but not everyone can play. And another thing is it might just be a case of the gaffer wants to look at other players in said position, and if that's the case, it's difficult to argue against it, even though it might not be something that the 12th man might approve of.
Exactly, and not to cut you. And the other side of it, I love the fact that he calls in young Buckley into the flow of things, and I would love to see her on the field. Now, if he tells me that that is his ploy, and that's why he had to leave Sweatman out in order to put Buckley in, I'd say, okay, not a problem. I'm all for it, because I want to see the youngsters get an early taste of what to come, and she stood out real tall amongst the players there. And also Leah she was dynamite too.
Yeah.
So the two of them for me is yes, thumbs up to your coach. I hope you're listening.
I am so happy that Buckley has been given a call up.
I know I know JFF listens to your show, right?
I don't think they do, because sometimes I have had to apologize so many times, because sometimes I say things from an emotional standpoint, and it's never nothing personal. But whereas with this team, like, what people have to understand is, for my generation, we're the 12th man, we are living our dreams through the girls team. Because you know, when I was growing up, it's so funny because they have this thing in England where it's the age-old banter, and doing the majority of my school years in England, people always say stuff like, you know, Jamaicans can't play football because they wasn't there representing us on the international scenes in terms of men's football. So it's a little bit embarrassing that you can't brag and boast about your country at an international level. Then comes the Reggae Girlz, and my generation, you know, your generation can talk about 98. I can't talk about 98. I can reference 98, but I can't talk about it because I was alive, but I don't have no memory of it, and it's not my generation. But like I said, you know.
Sorry. Yeah, if I may, it just insert here. And this is why so many people were looking at the possibility of having both the men and the women in this World Cup. Because that would be an ultimate dream. Yes.
Dreamland.
Yes.
Dreamland.
Yes.
Dreamland.
Yes.
Absolute dreamland. But for the time being, all it is just simply a dream. And that's why I
Yes.
say, like, for my generation, there's a close connection with this Reggae Girlz team, especially from a female perspective, like woman to woman or girl to girl, because they're allowing you to live out your dream, to say that your country qualified for not one World Cup but 2 World Cup on the bounce on the women's side of things. And also, like, for people who are fortunate to travel to the World Cup, you're gonna have Jamaicans in Australia, because Jamaicans they live all across the globe. So for the Jamaicans living in Australia, or Australian Jamaicans, to see their country at a World Cup, that's another dream come true for them. And it's all thanks to the girls. So of course, just like with your club team, there's an emotional attachment there. So when we see certain unfair treatment that's taking course, of course we're not gonna be pleased about it. We're gonna be displeased. So yeah, like I said, I know I've said quite a lot, especially when the girls are being treated out of favor in comparison to their male counterparts. And hopefully I haven't pissed anyone off, because it's not my intentions, but I'm human. I'm, of course.
You know what? As rank as it may sound, I love when you do that. So go ahead, my dear. Pee on them.
Sometimes I can't control it.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious, because guess what? Someone has to keep reminding them that we are watching.
Yeah.
And we understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And we expect them to deliver.
Yeah.
You understand? So if the authorities that put them there to put a package together for us, the 12 man, is not on them, then we, the 12th man, gonna 100%. Be on them. And you and I represent the 12th man more than anyone else.
100%.
You understand? Because we are the mouthpiece for the 12th man, because 100%. We see them and rub shoulders with them more closely than the 12th man would have.
Yeah.
They don't have that easy access like we do. So we have to keep pounding them for Jamaica and the loving fans around the world. That's
definitely.
our job.
And I think what people have to recognize as well, not just the Jamaica Football Federation, but just people in general, is that of course the players can't act like how we would act. And I always say, like, the role of the 12th man goes beyond showing up at games and buying jerseys. For me, more so, the number one key to being the 12th man is to be the voice of the voiceless. And there are times where you don't need the players to tell you that something isn't right. Like, you should be able to read the room and speak for them, be the voice of the voiceless, and just let them know that you're in their corner, because there are certain things that goes on behind the scenes that, of course, the players can't comment on it for obvious reasons. You might be cast aside. You may never ever get another call up. You just can't say certain things. But when we, the 12th man, see certain things that's not right, like this whole friendly, the men's team are clearly being prioritized over the women's team, because the evidence says that right in front of you, you have to speak about it. You don't need Bonnie to go on record and tell you that, because it's right in front of you. It's not like you need to investigate it. It's right there in front of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But with all said, I'm looking forward to this Thursday, and I have my eyes set on Sunday also, so you may get a double whammy from me.
I like that. I like that.
Yes.
Like that.
And also, just to underline what OK I've said, you look terrific in those sunglasses.
I've had to switch it up.
Okay on that.
Yeah, because this light is killing me. It's doing a number on my eyes. My eyes are starting to flicker a bit, and I know it's because I spend too many hours in front of the screen, so it starts to have an effect on me. So I just thought, sunglasses is the way forward, just to kind of dampen things a bit.
Whatever you need to do to protect those lovely eyes, we don't care. Once they can keep looking and seeing what we want you to see, and you keep telling us what you've seen, then hey, yes, do what you gotta do.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to.
Before I go, I have to send a shout out to my sister who's watching there in Reading.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Is that Reading
Clover,
as
pick up
in
yourself
England
every time.
Reading?
Love you like cook food.
You're
Yes,
joking.
and
No way.
no, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
What?
And of course, Mikey and Richie, pick up yourself every time.
Mikey's in a
just
bit
to
of a
let-
strop though.
just to let
Mikey,
your
Mikey's a
UK
little bit stroppy today because his team lost, so he's a little bit stroppy.
And you know what? I as you talk about that, I'm an Arsenal die-hearted fan. No ifs, no buts, no maybe. And to see that both men and women are up here, Mikey, you can come home to Jamaica, you know, man. We have a good pot of curry goat that run up down here and a shot glass waiting on you. You don't have to stay there and mope over, man. Trust me, you know. Yes.
Yeah, he probably need to pick another team. He's silent at the moment, so when Mikey is silent, it's because his team has lost. So you won't hear from him.
Oh, poor thing. You need to send him a towel. Don't you have one of those long beach towels that says
Dry your tears.
I think we send over there to him. Just
I
send
do
a
need
beach
to
towel
send him
that says
something.
Arsenal.
I do need to send him something. But you said your sister, she's based in Reading, as in England Reading.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Sure. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, Belle, massive shout out to your sister then.
Yes.
Hope she's okay.
I got loads of family there, you know.
Amazing.
Yeah. London all over, Birmingham, Manchester, you name it.
That's incredible. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, I just tell them that I just want to make sure that you and I are not related, and that's all I'm concerned about.
Who knows? It's a small world, so who knows?
The check that I check on the Davises, they are nowhere near my family line, and that's good enough for me. I don't want to hear anything else.
Check on the Davises.
And mark you, next year.
Yeah.
Put the date on your calendar, please. May 8th. Next year is a bank holiday. Yeah. I'll be crowned officially king then. Prepare for me.
So what's the special occasion?
What's the special occasion?
Yeah.
May 8th?
Yeah, what you doing for the special occasion? And I know that's a bank holiday. I read about it yesterday.
Yes, I'll be there. I'll be crowned.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be fully King Charles.
So we don't get an after party, because that's kind of what I was thinking of.
What you think? I'll be there. You know, I'll be there. So once I'm there, I'll tell you what the plans will be. I can give away all that.
That's people are listening. My apologies.
It's Interpol secrets. So.
Yeah, my apologies. Silly me. My apologies. Sorry. Well,
my girl, it's been a pleasure.
Always.
It's been a pleasure.
And I'm going to touch base with you during the week as well.
Yeah, we can speak in the week just before Thursday for sure.
100%.
So we can fine tune some last minute arrangements and so on.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
All right, cheers.
All right, take care.
And big chili pepper in the house.
Always, he's always present.
You know, yeah, big up chili pepper, man, over there, man. You know, chili is always hot, you know.
Always.
Yeah. All right, take it easy, yeah?
Take
Cheers.
care. Bye-bye.
Right.
Someone else called me. Shall we try? Okay, let me just round off because I do have let's just go ahead and again, whilst we're in France, it's always a pleasure speaking to the king himself. If I must, I might try and see if I can get you guys an invite to the big bank holiday. I don't know, you might have to sort out your own visa requirements there, guys. You might have to go through your own visa application. But I'm guessing if it's a special invite by the king, then I shouldn't think they will decline your visa application there. So if you guys remain on your best behavior, I might sort something out for you. And D2, which is Division 2 of French women's football there, it's a bit like the Scottish League. It keeps mucking me about, and I don't appreciate it one bit. You should be able to see this result in front of you. This one was played. It's so poor, isn't it? It's quite shameful. It was played at 2 p.m. UK time, and you still can't see the result. In case you're wondering, GPSO ISSI, or as you can see there on my left, ISSI, that's the club belonging to Den Blackwood, and also Yasmin Jameson as well. Yasmin made a recent transfer to ISSI. Safe to say that both players are new additions to the squad. And some welcoming news with this one. Can I find them? Let's see if I can bring it up on Twitter, because it's kind of bothering me that we're not really able to look at the actual full-time results. So irritating. Hold on there, guys. You know what? Whilst we're here, they've been having a bit of a miserable season, haven't they? How many times have we sat here and just things just haven't gone their way? You can see here 5 games played. 7 games played, 5 losses, 2 draws. But this week is a good one. I'm trying to see if I can bring something up for you guys. But it's not working. All right, so I'm just gonna have to keep it. Let me just scroll down so you guys can see where they're positioned in the league. You can see there that they're in the 10th position. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can. And like I said, there you can see 7 matches played. Scroll up so you guys can see 2 wins, 5 losses, right? Hopefully you guys can remember that, because it will all make sense with the next bit of information there for you guys. So this is the club, again, belonging to Den Blackwood and also Yasmin Jameson, and a bit of a positive result here for ISSI at long last. Den Blackwood doubled GPSO ISSI. That's 92 ISSI for those of you who are wondering, or simply ISSI, depending on how you refer to them. So with that being said, again, Den Blackwood doubled ISSI's lead in a thrilling 4-3 comeback victory over Le Mans. And with that, they recorded their first victory of the season. Because clearly before it was only sorry, not their first win of the season. Let me go back and look at something for you guys. Where is it? It's not coming up, guys, and this is kind of frustrating me a little bit. Let me just see if I can bring something up for you guys. That's last week's results. So they've picked up 3 points. I've lost what I was trying to bring up for you guys. It's not here. It's not here, guys. I'm looking at the wrong tab. Trying to see if I can bring something up for you all, but it's not working. Can I bring it up? All right. Let's go back and look at a couple of their results. I'm gonna have to do it this way because it would probably make sense. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 matches played. So with that, going back to what I was saying, sorry for the confusion. I just had to count something to make sure. Can you guys see that in front of your screen? You should be able to see it right from here, which would be match day 1 of 22. You can see that they started off the season pretty poorly, losing 4-0 at home. Again, another game played at home, which they lost. Match day 3, lost away from home. And at home, another loss. Away from home, another loss. at home, another loss, and so on. But today, that's actually their first home win of the season so far, guys. Um, so you can go ahead and cast your eyes on that temporarily. Bit of a shaky season, and we've gone through this week by week with Issy, but thankfully, it's good to know that they've recorded their first home win of the season. I'm a little bit annoyed still that I can't bring up this result here for you guys. So sorry about that. It's pretty much out of my control, isn't it? But on a positive, we had Den on the score sheet, and adding to that, Issy up and running with their first home victory of the league campaign. Playing in second tier of women's football over in France. They need to do better. This is why sometimes it's so frustrating following women's football, because something so simple as a result shouldn't really have to be searching so deep and getting frustrated. Maybe it's just me getting frustrated with something so simple, but it should be simpler is what I'm trying to hint at. All right, so Sir Rich said that he wanted to come on. So before I sign off for the night, let's see if he's still about. I'm gonna wait for a couple more minutes to see what Sir Rich has to say, and then I'm going to be ending the live stream. Before I forget my manners, thank you so much to those of you there in the comments section. Thank you for sticking with me for the best part of almost 1 hour and 30 minutes. I didn't bargain for this, so this is quite new. I do have a 5:30 start tomorrow, and I'm feeling wide awake, regrettably slow. But other than that, I hope you guys have a smashing week when it comes. I hope it's a productive one. Mr. Rockford, I am well. How are you? Will you be going to the Reggae Girlz game? Perfect timing.
Reggae Girlz host South American Stars of Paraguay in 2 friendly internationals on November 10. Pack the Montego Bay Stadium and show some love. Grandstand $2,000, bleachers $1,000. Then on November 13, let's rock the National Stadium. Grandstand $3,000, bleachers $1,500. Students 19 and under with ID. Both games in the bleachers for only $500. Sponsors. Bring out the family and show some love.
All right, then. So we already know that we have the king himself, Mr. Charles there, Mr. King Charles. He's going to both fixtures. Lucky for some, right? Talk about being stable in life. He's going to both games, and he's going to be calling in. So you're going to be getting some live reaction there from the man himself. And I hope and pray that it's a good game for our girls, because guys, I'm still a little bit mad about October. I don't know when I'm gonna get over that. I'm gonna wait and see what the JFF is saying in regards to our friendlies. Hopefully, we continue to get those all important friendlies on the board. If not, then I'm just gonna sit here and complain, and you guys will have to sit and listen to me, unfortunately. How are you?
I am well.
You're well? I can hear you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, as you know, I've had my delightful in-laws visiting, and the smile on my face is a dual smile on the face. One smile is because it was a most wonderful, poignant time. And secondly, I am now what you might call free at last. Thank God Almighty, I am free at last. To
I
once
don't
more
think I should be
share.
smiling right now. To the to the in-laws of Mr. Stevens, I'm on your side. All right, I am on your side. You don't want nothing for Christmas, do you? You don't want no sorrel. You don't want no cake for Christmas. You gotta be careful with your words, Mr. Stevens.
I don't need anything in particular. One thing I have learned from what has been a tremendous couple of months in many ways is that when love is in the house, when good bonhomie, healthy fruits, healthy living, a peaceful vibes, when that is about, it's worth its weight in gold. So for Mr. and Mrs. C, oi, Mr. and Mrs. C, sir, much love,
Yeah.
safely back in
Listen,
Jamaica. And I tell you
I
something.
don't think
Oh,
I don't think you're gonna be in trouble because I doubt they watch YouTube and I doubt they watch my channel. That's for certain. So you don't have nothing to worry about. But you've saved yourself there. You've redeemed yourself. You got off to a little bit of a shaky start, but you've redeemed yourself.
hallelujah.
How have you been otherwise though? How you feeling about this friend? I should ask you what's on your mind because you wanted to come on the channel. What's on your mind?
Well, you know, we are spoilt for choice if we, as sports fans, uh, are truly lovers of sport. I mean, I'm a sports fan through and through. There's World Cups going on left, right, and centre in New Zealand. There's the Women's Rugby Union World Cup featuring the Black Ferns home team coming up against the England Roses in a mouth-watering clash. We have, of course, Qatar fast approaching. England set to name its squad. Brazil, the Seleção, set to name its squad.
Mr. Stevens, who is we?
And
We're not
my
going to the World
mind
Cup. Well,
is,
I know I'm not going to the World Cup.
well, when I say we, football fans, I know I am looking forward to the World Cup. And it's a very interesting thing you raised there, you know. You know you're very combative. You know you know your
Look, all right, look, I'm
positive
gonna sit this
qualities
one out.
oftentimes shine through.
Listen, I'm not going to war with you. I'm gonna sit this one out. Instead, I'm gonna bring you someone who might be on your side because you mentioned England, so he might back you with this one. I'm not backing you, but someone might back you. A little familiar face
Oh,
might back you. All right, I'm gonna sit this one
well,
out.
careful with that back
Mr.
business, you know.
Preston, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you doing? I hope you both are doing well. Mr.
Yes,
Stevens, long
I am.
time.
I am doing well. How's everything been
Long time in terms of being on a live broadcast. Good to see you, Simon. I've been watching from afar. I have been busy with my lovely in-laws from Jamaica, but enough respect, Simon. You've been doing sterling work day in, day out. I salute you. A pleasure to be on the channel with you at this juncture. And there's plenty going on. I was about to raise an interesting point or two with Crystal dovetailing the imminent World Cup in Qatar, the fact that Jamaica will not be at the party. And I've been keeping a little wistful eye on schoolboy football, the whole idea of matriculation, and if footballers are, quote unquote, if you're good enough, you're old enough, with the likes of a certain whisper, whisper it. You know, very, very interesting times, very interesting things. So my mind was looking at the likes of Jody Brown in the Reggae Girlz and just reflecting on the journey that she's had and where she sits in terms of Jamaican football. And it's always a pleasure to be on the show with Talawa TV's Crystal Davis, because she's got a very, very good insight and knowledge and love and passion for women's football. So it was a pleasure to just sit and listen to her views and giving us an update on how the land lies in terms of our Reggae Girls and their fortunes in the leagues that they represent. But it's been very interesting looking at the whole debate and the level of knowledge and awareness and fighting and getting above the whole hype, as well as culturally, strong reputation that Schoolboy's football holds in the minds and hearts of many a Jamaican football fan. But with Qatar and World Cup, you see, left, right, and centre. As I said, the Women's World Cup is going to be, of course, in Australia and New Zealand. We're watching the Premier League. I've been born here watching the Premier League, watching the Champions League, and there's some really serious, mature discussions that have to be had, and it calls for cool but passionate heads in terms of where Jamaicans men's senior football wants to go. And the Reggae Girls are flying the flag. They have qualified for the World Cup back to back, and maybe we can take a leaf out of their journey. And I'll be fascinated to hear not only tonight but going forward in the coming weeks, the story and how the likes of Crystal and yourself view the progress of Jamaican football, whether you're young or old. What exactly is going on. Call a spade, and get above and get out of the hype and actually deal with reality, some serious, mature conversations, because it seems to be people in both camps who genuinely feel that they are in the right corner. Simon, speak!
Yeah, there's a lot of facets to what you just said, and I think for any Jamaican sports fan, and it's an exciting period of time, especially when you bear in mind the summer that we have next year as well. The athletics fans will be heading over to Budapest, Hungary for the World Championships. Of course, the World Cup in FIFA Women's World Cup down under, the Netball World Cup in South Africa as well. And Jamaica will also be in the Lacrosse World Cup in San Diego in America as well. So there's a lot of excitement, of course. In the UK quite recently, it's like Jamaica was everyone's second favorite team at the Rugby League World Cup. I was amazed to see how Yorkshire just got behind Jamaica as a whole, from Leeds to Hull to York to Sheffield, how the country just united behind Jamaica. I didn't expect so much Jamaicans in the Yorkshire area. I always thought about London, the Midlands, Manchester, but Yorkshire, to see that support was absolutely fantastic. And I mean, the point that you made about women's football, I think it's unfortunate that the Women's League has taken almost 4 years to restart. I think that's a huge slap on the wrist that has to be taken some accountability for. We need to have some sort of accountability from that aspect. Where is the opportunity for the next Jody Brown on the island to put herself in a chance to fight to be on the plane to Australia next year? Because as it stands, the players that we have overseas, they will make up the vast majority of heading to the World Cup next summer. But what about the domestic-based players? What chances do they have of being part of the squad next year? Although we know the quality overseas in North America and in Europe are the players that we will go with forward, but just giving them an opportunity to rub shoulders with Bunny Shaw, with Chinyela Asher, with Konya Plummer, with Tiffany Cameron, with Rebecca Spencer, players that have been there, done that in England and across Europe, it just would make a massive difference. So for me, that's perhaps one of the biggest points that I'm a bit miffed and livid about, that the Women's League hasn't restarted back locally just yet. Of course, there's two sides to every story. There always is two sides to every story. But, how much longer can we play the card about COVID? I mean, at some point that has to end, and we have to see the next step and the future that lies ahead. We still have under 20s, under 17s to come as well. So for me, that's one aspect that needs room for improvement. But apart from that, it's exciting for us as Jamaicans to look forward to sporting wise. And, I'm sure with the performances that Jody Brown has done, Crystal will be hoping that she signs for Arsenal next year, or any London club for that matter. So we'll see what the future lies ahead. Maybe she might stay in North America, but certainly she has the ability itself to play in England.
Definitely. I would love it for, like Simon said, from a selfish standpoint, would love if she signed for Arsenal or any London club, because that just simply means she'll be on my doorstep. But best of luck to her. Would love to see her follow in the footsteps of Bunny Shaw. She has it in her locker to do exactly that, go toe-to-toe with her skipper at the international level. But just going back and looking at the Rugby League World Cup there, what was like your key takeaway takeaways? Because it seemed like he was a little bit taken aback by the support, probably caught off guard there by the number of turnouts.
Yeah, indeed. And it was like every single game that the Jamaicans had, there was a pro Jamaican support compared to the opposition. Ireland, which has a large Irish community within Leeds, and Jamaica went on and had more support than them, especially in a city like Hull, which has a very, very small Caribbean contingency, and still Jamaican fans were there. And of course, Manchester as well, Mancunians, Jamaicans there as well. So that was great from that aspect. What I admired the most about that team in particular was the synergy, the unity in the squad, the UK-based, domestic-based players. There was that tandem. It's not like you have at breakfast one morning or dinner or tea, you have the UK-based players one side or the domestic-based players one side, something that has happened in the Reggae Boys camp in the past before. So just to see that not being a fragment of how they play and their style is something quite refreshing. And of course, a building block towards the next World Cup qualifying campaign. It was their debut on the world stage. And bearing in mind, Jamaica only had 3 full-time professionals part of their roster, while New Zealand has 20, Ireland 10, Lebanon 12. Just to go out there and compete and put points on the board was a plus for the coaching staff there. So it's all now building towards the next step of going to back-to-back World Cups. And, Jamaica's rugby league team would be Jamaica's second male sports team, first male sports team to go to back-to-back World Cups. And that's something that they're eyeing, because that World Cup is 2025 in France, which of course would be before USA, Canada, Mexico for 2026 for the Reggae Boys. But to answer your question, it was just a fantastic experience. And just to see the patriotism from the UK-based players, it was huge, absolutely massive. Some of them having tattoos of the flag on their arm, and for them, the day before game, being in their room or being in the team room and practicing the national anthem. It just shows the effort that they've put into this sort of project. And I'm hopeful that that's something that can be rubbed off on the Reggae Boys perspective and other Jamaican sports teams moving forward. It's something that the Sunshine Girls do for netball, and of course, something that should be done for other sporting disciplines.
It looks like you're a little bit eager for a question there, Mr. Stevens.
No, I was just listening and assuming that Simon was actually over. Are you over here now, Simon, or did we?
I returned to Jamaica.
The Jamaican rugby league team in action.
I was in the UK for a month. Yes, I was in the UK for a month. I went up to the Northeast as well. So there were some players with Jamaican heritage in the under-20s, and I was able to have a chat with a couple of those lads. But I returned to the island Tuesday, Wednesday, thereabouts. So I spent a month there, and it was really, really nice. I didn't come down to London, though. So I was mainly based in the north and being able to, have a few dialogues with players with Jamaican heritage there. Darren Moore invited me to his training session and spoke about 2 players in his team with Jamaican heritage that he believes deserves a call up in the near future. So all in all, from the rugby league perspective, the football perspective, it was wonderful. And a lot of people tremble when they when they go to the train station and they're trying to figure out which stop is where, though. But it's something that I relish, honestly, in terms of whenever I'm in England, honestly, it feels like my second home. Whether I'm in the north or down in London, I know once I have my Oyster card in London, I'm fine. And up north using northern trains, it's fine. So I'm back in Jamaica right now. And the next attention is the Reggae Girlz games. And so it'll be great. The Reggae Girlz Foundation has something planned for the team on Wednesday. So we're just away to see what big announcement that they have. And hopefully it's something that is long-term and not just for the games ahead.
There you have it. So make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled with that one.
It was truly exciting watching.
No, carry on, Mr. Stevens. Carry on. I think you're a little bit delayed your end, but carry on.
I know maybe some internet problems my side. I was just saying that it was truly wonderful watching Jamaica score a try, and the joy. Usually we've seen, Jamaica being a powerhouse on the stage in terms of world athletics. So when they actually crossed for that try and just seeing the jerseys, I was absolutely transfixed by it. As a Jamaica, so proud, and the joy on the faces and the public's reaction, fantastic. And I am going to be thoroughly behind them in their push to return. I mean, rugby league, you've got the real powerhouses, the Australians, New Zealanders, Samoan, England, really tough, Fiji, Cook Islands, Tonga. But to see them, to score one try against these crack units, it's no easy task. I've been watching the women's rugby league equivalent. I mean, the Australians, for example, racked up 58 points just by half time against the unfortunate French. I mean, every attack was a try, virtually. It was really tough, and to pierce opponents such as these is very difficult. So, absolutely, hats off to Jamaica. It meant something, and it was an achievement. So I think onwards and upwards, just keep on, and I really hope that the program goes from strength to strength. I'm just recently rejoining the female football program. As I said, I've had my in-laws over, and it's been an absolute delight. And I'm just wondering if preparation is being taken a little more seriously. I say a little, I'm being generous. I'm hoping that in terms of preparation for the men's game, the women's game, in terms of the football on the footballing front, that this is really important. I'm sure that Mr. Donaldson appreciates and recognizes the importance of effective preparation before big time tournaments. Are we safely on good ground to suggest that the JFF and those in charge of preparation have learnt lessons and are taking this very, very seriously?
I'll stick a pin in it quickly there for me, Mr. Stevens. I have someone backstage, and I don't want to keep them waiting for too long. So I'm going to bring him on, because usually this is the time that he's either at work or commuting to work. So I'm really cautious of his time. Mr. Beckford, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
We finally managed to put a face to the name. How you been?
Yes, finally. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Hi, evening. How you doing?
Good night, Captain Beckford.
Well, you have a prestige who's live tonight with a couple of the most respectable personnel. So I guess I figured I could join this time, because the setting is right.
So this was the trick. This is what I needed. I needed a stellar lineup to get you to show your face on screen.
I didn't hear.
This is what I needed to do. I needed to give you guys a stellar lineup. It's completely unplanned, by the way, guys. This wasn't part of the script. So it was one that it caught me by surprise, and I'm pretty sure it's caught you guys by surprise. But as ever, I'm sure you'll be able to take nuggets from the panelists. But it seems, again, Mr. Beckford, seems like this is what I needed to do. Give you a stellar panel for you to show your face.
Okay.
How you been? What's on your mind? What's your reason for coming on screen?
Well, I want to say I'm proud of the girls so far. They have been scoring and continue to score, especially Shaw. I see that they are trusting her more in the starting 11 and even keep her as long as almost to the completion of the game, because they realize that she's scoring and they can count on her more now than last season, because she was second in, and I see that she's well second now. And she's doing well. She's proving she is showing the coach why he should trust her more and give her more game time. And that's good to see. That's what we want to see across all the leagues our girls are participating in Europe.
Yeah, I think I have my own reservation on the coach, and I've touched on him quite a number of times. But at long last, just to echo what you've said, finally, Bunny's been given the right amount of game time, and rightly so. She deserves it. Long may it continue. We don't know what's going to happen between now and the end of the season, but hopefully, she can continue to get those much needed, all important and necessary minutes under her belt. And just like it is for all the rest of the Reggae Girls. Hopefully they can complete their season on scratch, because we've seen it in the men's side of the game where they're picking up injuries left, right, and center. I feel for them actually, because we know we've got the World Cup on the horizon, and it's an unusual one, a winter World Cup for most of us. We're used to having summer World Cups, so I feel for those players on the male side of the game who have picked up those unfortunate injuries, especially when you're looking at ACL injuries. You're out for the rest of the season, so you don't stand a chance of making the World Cup. What would have been a first World Cup for someone like a Chihuahua, for example, that's just gone out the window for obvious reasons. So hopefully, unlike what we've seen on the men's side of the game, our girls and the rest of the girls, competitors, opponents as well, they can go through their respective season on scratch, because we want everyone fit and roaring to go, even our opponents, because I don't want no excuses when we beat a couple countries. I don't want you saying it's because you didn't have X, Y, Z. I want you fully at your full strength, ready to go.
Yes, you're right.
How's your work looking? Because it looks to me that you're at work. How's your work going?
Well, it's good. It's not a location where I have to do too much. It's basically just watch and relax mode for the almost entire time. So
Okay. Well, you're going to be spoiled for choices, because we're now going into the international women's international break there. So you'll be able to consume more of those all-important Reggae Girls content, because I know that's your favorite. So you're going to be spoiled for choice over the next week or so. And then we can bring it back to looking at how the girls perform week in, week out for their respective clubs.
yes, definitely. But I probably not be available at all times, because new job is in the pipeline and so on. So
Congrats.
all over the place. But I will try my best to keep myself as close as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I always been a fan of both Reggae Girls and Reggae Boys, and I always want them to do their best.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that if we should go forward as a football nation, I don't think the current president is the best choice. I mean, he done some things. He have done some things that are good, but most of what he's doing, they are not the fundamental aspect of what football is really about. Apart from nowadays, people are marketing football as a business.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that Jamaica is a brand anywhere you go. And it is much easier for you to market a Jamaica compared to Australia or you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's so much things that Jamaica offer. There's so much news about Jamaica in terms of sports. And if they are wise, they would come up with good marketing strategies to bring forth Jamaica on a different level. If you don't market, you cannot bring people on board.
Yeah, you have a point there. I wouldn't say I've given up on the federation, because I haven't, and I think they've made a few positive strides here and there. But I just think sometimes we should probably look at ourselves, because we've seen over the last couple of decades that at this point it's probably just wishful thinking, whatever you guys have in mind. So maybe it's a case of looking between ourselves and saying, well, what can we do to be the difference maker? What can we do to make a difference, and take it from there? Again, that's not to say I don't have any trust or belief in the Jamaica Football Federation, but I'm more looking at myself and saying, what can I do to make a difference, as opposed to what are they doing? Because I think I already know the answer to that, with the greatest of respect to the federation. But sometimes we just have to look at ourselves and say, what are we doing to contribute to the growth and development of women's football, and act accordingly, in my opinion.
Well, unlike apart from you, there are many others that are doing behind the scene,
Yeah.
that are doing even enough to to fill the gap that the JFF have left so far. But
Yeah.
what I want to see going forward is less excuse and more action. In terms of leagues, for example, the Women League, why hasn't why hasn't it started as yet or resumed as yet? They are saying COVID, but COVID is almost gone now, and we haven't seen anything happening. So, um, how are we going to have continuity when something as a league to always create talented females? Because I know there are footballers out there that are in schools that are in the women's league that want it to start back so that they can showcase their talent and fulfill their dream, which is to play in this Reggae Girlz team. We have qualified for World Cup, and I'm sure some of them would be mine if they were a part of that squad or put themselves in a position where they can be selected or looked at. So the question is, how long are we going to wait for this league to resume so that we can have continuity?
And this is what I mean. Like, I always love when you and I talk about football, or anyone for that matter, either in the comment section or my respective panelists. But this is what I'm saying, that sometimes we have to look at ourselves and say, but what are we doing? What can we bring to the table? Because I already know what to expect from the federation. With the greatest of respect to the federation, I kind of know what to expect. Sometimes it feels like you're beating the same old drum, but are you not tired? I know I'm tired. I can't keep beating that same drum. Eventually I have to change my technique and do something different. And that's what I'm seeking to do. So again, I think, I mean, I love the point that you're making, but again, I just kind of want to bring it back to the 12th man and say, you know, if you're the ultimate 12th man, first of all, what makes you, why do you consider yourself to be the ultimate 12th man? And more importantly, what are you doing to support your team? Because for me, as the ultimate 12th man, that goes beyond wearing the jersey or buying the jersey and going to the game. It's a lot deeper than that. And I can't tell people how to support the women's program or the men's program. I can only do what I think is necessary in terms of adding to the growth and the development of the women's program. And like I said, I know that I'm already doing that, and I'm going to continue to do that. But I don't really have the energy to keep on looking at the Jamaica Football Federation with the greatest of respect to them. Maybe something as, it's not that they don't want to do it, maybe it's just that they can't do it or don't know how to do it. Again, with the greatest of respect to them. So, you know, I'm just looking at us, the 12th man, from here on out. For however long that lasts, only Lord knows the answer to that. But I'm looking at us and seeing what we can do to make a difference, because we can make a difference. There's more of us than there is of the federation. That's a fact. So we can actually have an impactful say in all of this, depending on how we act accordingly. So we're more powerful. The 12th man, we're more powerful than we know. And that's what I want all of us to believe and do something. I can't tell you what to do, but I know that I'm already doing something, and I know that I'm going to add to that.
You've done a lot, I must say. And also, sports commentary, you have made us aware of a lot of players that we never heard of before. He's doing a lot of work behind the scene, as I see that sometimes he's over there in Europe doing his homework, doing his background checks, and keeping us informed as well. So respect Mr. Simon as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate
a lot more.
I'm just looking in the comment section. Could I take the opportunity to hail up Blay Video? Nice to see you again, Sir Rich.
Yeah,
nice
let me just apologize to you guys that if you see me looking down, let me just apologize to you guys, the panelists and the guys in the comment section. If you see me looking down, I'm just trying to update my social because I have a 5:30 wake today. I'm already in my Monday morning, and I'm just trying to update my socials before I get to bed. So I'm not like texting or being rude towards you guys. I'm trying to just do my socials and get them out of the way. All right. So I'll leave you guys to continue with your conversation. Sorry to cut you off there, Mr. Stevens. I think I might have cut him off.
No problem. I'm going to be making a move shortly. I know my internet connection is a bit dodgy this evening, but I'm just looking at the comments. So W, yeah, some very interesting comments there. Mr. Beckford, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I'm hearing everyone loud and clear.
All right, sir. Just a brief question. While the internet it's on its last legs here in London, England, here in my yard. When it comes to benchmarks and bench levels, you mentioned the likes of Bonnie Shaw. When it comes to the Reggae Girlz, for example, and you see the outstanding performances of Bonnie Shaw, do you aspire, and as a fan, do you want the Jamaican Federation, do you for the highest levels such as the Bunny Shaws and the Jody Browns, or are you one for looking at some new young talent that may not have had the Bunny Shaw at Manchester City? Do you like to see some more ground roots talent be given exposure and experience, even if it's just with the preparation camp, just to get a taste of the atmosphere? And similar with the Reggae Boys, you know, you've got the JPL contingent now about to take on the Cameroon, but there's a school of thought whereby the many players who are plying their trade in the English Premier League, for example, they are ready like Freddie, with all the coaching, the experience, the ability, the confidence to ply their trade and do a really good job for Jamaica under the new coach. But are you one that subscribes to, exposed to professionalism overseas, to be given a chance to matriculate and develop within and alongside the likes of the Mikel Antonios and the Revel Morrisons? Where do you come from in terms of that kind of spectrum of thought when it comes to the national teams?
Well, to be honest, in terms of that, it's good when we can have a mixture of both, because I often hear the saying that the overseas based players are better than the local based players. But some of the time, most of the time, those claims can be opinions. And I know that there are players out here that are being overlooked, even though they show that they can perform at the local level. But the thing is, people don't understand that being good at the local level doesn't mean that you will have a good career internationally or at the international level, because it's a totally different type of ball game. And it requires more quality and more hard work, which probably you don't know if the player is willing to put in that much work or will try their best to improve that much to be a regular in the team itself. Just the same, you have overseas-based players that are of good quality, and on the day they can be so poor, but it's a part of football. But I think it's time for us to move from the divisional saying that the locals are this and the overseas are that, because that is not going to make football better. It's going to cause a division that will always be there, and that will affect the team chemistry and the the prospect of the team going forward. Remember, each player can learn from another player in training and also in other ways. Because at the same time, both are trying to learn more about their culture and also the history of their culture. So when you have a well-blended team of local and overseas based players, it will always do well for the team because you have different style of ball game incorporating and that football can be beautiful. Sometimes it can be chaotic because miscommunication and so on. But it's always a good thing to have both in training and also in the team at all times. But we know that not all the time the overseas based players will be available. So the question is, what is plan A, what is plan B, and what is plan C? What are they doing in case all the overseas based players are not available or there are some injury crisis and so on? We have to have other team like a B team or a C team that is good enough as well to compete, that we can pick from and have a good contingent representing us. Because when we watch matches and we see some of the results, even though the team is not strong, we're still gonna feel away as a fan because the result is not pleasing to the eyes and also us as fans. We want to see them do well at all times or try their best. But when we have to send a weak team and you get like a 10-0 or 11-0 or probably a 6-0 to certain team that are not like Argentina or Brazil quality, it's going to look bad for the sports overall. And it's going to show that the AFF is not doing as much or enough is not being done so that we can have better results going forward.
I think he might have be experiencing a little technical difficulties, internet issues there. Simon, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, there's some good points that were made, and following up from the question that was made by Mr. Stevens, yes, in terms of looking ahead towards New Zealand and Australia next year, I'm open to the idea of looking at a couple of new faces, no problem at all. But I feel the general core that helped us to qualify should be the bulk that should be on the plane for us for Australia and New Zealand. I just don't want to be in the shoes of a Lauren Donaldson, because if you look at that attacking pool right now, somebody is going to have to get left off and somebody is going to be crying. It's just, when you look at Jody Brown, Bunny Shaw, Sade, Kayla, Maria Gray, Kalissa, Kiki Van Zanten, Tiffany Cameron, Michaela Days, one of those persons are not going to make the plane, and it's just because of balance, because you need midfielders, you need defenders, etc. So for Lauren Donaldson, it's going to be extremely tough to pick that 23 member squad, extremely difficult. So when that day comes, I think it's just going to be quite a challenging one. Do you experiment with one player in another position? It's just when that time comes to pick that 23, it's going to be tough, because there are going to be some girls that are going to have some tears, unfortunately, because they're not going to go down under, unfortunately. Tough times ahead.
Definitely tough times ahead. It's one of those things that we've discussed at length on the platform, is that at the end of the day, just echoing on what Simon has said, it's unfortunate, but there isn't room for everyone. Not everyone's going to be getting a ticket to the Women's World Cup taking place next year. And again, it is unfortunate, but that is the game. It's all part of the game. Some of you in the comment section, you won't be seeing your favorite players. That's a fact, because there isn't room for every single person. But I'm glad that all I am is the 12th man, and good luck to the gaffer Lon Donaldson, because he's going to cause an upset here and there. So hopefully he's got a broad enough shoulder, broad enough back to bear what's to come, because he's going to be causing a ton of upset, not just for the players, but also for the 12th man as well. People probably will feel are a little bit hurt that they don't get to see their favorite player at the World Cup. Also, if a new player just comes into the fold and they're being gifted with a ticket to the World Cup and someone who's been there from the start isn't given a ticket to the World Cup, you can only imagine the reaction from that. So good luck to the gaffer, Lorne Donaldson. Better him than me. Definitely don't want to be in his position, but it's all part of the game, unfortunately.
Well said.
Yes, Mr. Beckford, you was going to say something?
No, I said you're right about that. But I want to ask a question still. Do you think the time when Lord Donaldson was introduced to the point where he was given the full job, if the time for him to know exactly the right team to pick was enough to avoid such chaos when you come on to picking the final team?
Go ahead. Rephrase that question for me, please.
I'm saying when Lord Donaldson was introduced and given the full role as head coach, if that was enough time for him to know or pick the right team.
Oh, I get you. I get you.
So that at the start of the tournament or during the tournament, he will have the right set of players that he can use to get the job done or put on a substitute when it's needed.
Yeah, I understand your question. I think that's a great question. Depends on how you want to look at it. Do you want to be fair or do you just want to be a little bit blunt? You're going to have some people that will say that yes, he, like any other coach, any head coach or any manager, he needs time. Then you're going to have some people that say, well, hang on, he's familiar with the bulk of the team. He's been around similar players before in terms of the core players. He's been around those type of players before. And you will have some people that will probably say to yourself that, well, if he didn't believe that he would have enough time on his hands to deliver, why accept the job? Why put yourself forward? And so on. It depends on how you want to look at it. You'll also have some people that will raise the point of saying that he didn't have the October window. You'll also have some people that said so far, even on his interim return, it hasn't been smooth sailing. You had players called up to the team that were ineligible. Still scratching my head as to why you would call up players who are ineligible to play. Yes, they were eligible to play at the nick of time at the CONCACAF Women's Championship, but even so, you had players sat at home who could have done said job. No disrespect to those players. I don't have nothing against either player. Fantastic players, by the way. But these are some of the things that people nitpick and try to tear Lorne Donaldson apart when they're looking for a reason to say that maybe he's not the man for the job, or if they're saying, is he the man for the job? Can he deliver and take us out of the group? Which is what a lot of people want. You want to do one step better than you did at the last World Cup, and one step better means to come out of those all-important group down under. So it depends on what you expect of him. What's your expectation of Lorne Donaldson, and is it a realistic expectations? But maybe at the moment, the way things is going is probably a little bit swaying towards the out of favor bracket. Some points, yes, you can say that it's down to the gaffer with a few questionable decision making. From a factual standpoint, you can probably question whether or not he's been sincerely backed, and there's arguments there to say that the backing of Lorne Donaldson's a little bit disingenuine. But it depends on which side of the fence you're sitting on. You can get a balance perspective about a balanced answer to your question, or you can just be cutthroat and say it is what it is. Football is a results game, and results goes beyond the full-time score as well. A lot of people look at football and think it's all black and white. It's not just a case of my team won, therefore we played well. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. You can walk away with a 2-0 win or a 3-0 win, but that doesn't mean that it's a deserving result. So it depends on what you expect of the gaffer, and whether or not your expectations is a fair one of him within such limited time frame. I think you might be on mute there, Simon.
Oh, yeah, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
it's fine.
Yeah, I
It's
was saying well said. I was saying well said. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. I think you covered all the points there. So
Yeah, it's difficult. I don't know, Simon. It's like it's difficult. You want you want him to do well, obviously, because he's your head coach. But there's going to be people that see things differently, and some questions will be valid. I don't know how you see things from your perspective, but be interesting to hear your opinion on that particular question.
Yeah.
it's a challenging one because the team for me under Hubert Busby, it just felt that connection, like things were clicking, even with the 0-0 draw against Costa Rica, even with the 4-0 loss to the United States, something was building. There was that synergy. And then Coach Vin came in, the players made their feelings and voices heard. And then comes Lauren. I'm just not in agreement with the chopping and changes. I'm aware of circumstances. And from what I can say right now, I just feel like the players just had this connection with Busby that was just different from Hugh or from Vin, and it was just different because it was more than just tactics and preparation. It was about life in general, and I think that's what the girls appreciated when Hugh was in charge of the program. Will he be back? Only time will tell. But as it relates to Lauren, I personally hope that the next 6 to 7 months, all the tools are in place so that the next international window, February, their games, and we're not idle about it. And just before the World Cup, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before, I've made the point, and I mean, you were there in London before the 2019 World. The girls had so much different media and sponsorship engagements. They were so tired by the time they got to Scotland. It was draining on them. And I know sponsors have to get their worth in order that you can get your money at the end of the day. But there has to be a compromise where not all 24 players are here and then here and then here. There can be an arrangement where sponsorship and media obligations can be limited or structured in a manner which doesn't drain them out. After the training, these girls just want to lay down, sleep, talk to family, not jump on a bus and drive down and take pictures. Of course, they love speaking with fans and so on. But for me, it's all about ensuring that the balance is prepared and we learn from the mistakes of 2019, not traveling to Africa when you can have a non-stop flight to London and perhaps even take the train up to Glasgow and stuff like that. You know, these are certain aspects that I'm hoping learning lessons and move forward for it. If you're coming from Jamaica, you can get to Australia in 3 flights. You know, that's something that we need to be aware of. Not 6, but 3 flights, you know, at a push 2. So, you know, certain things that we just have to learn moving forward.
I'm remaining a little bit hopeful between now and the latter stage in terms of the preparation stage before we go down under. I think that moment, that transition there between wherever the girls will be based until they take their final step towards their second ever World Cup appearance. I think that little step there will be much more smoother than last time round because it was quite heavy. Wasn't really sure why they were playing here and there, playing scrimmage matches as well. Didn't make sense. I understand that you're trying to keep the team match fit, but at the end of the day, by cramming in so much within a short window, within a short time frame, it's inevitable that they're going to be hammered by the time they need to actually play some real football. So like I said, I think the final leg before they go under will be much crisper than before. It has to be because you look at our group, it's just as tough as the last time round. If we're being honest with ourselves, yes, countries are going through their own changes, but so are we. So we really don't have time to focus and be, oh, well, France is doing this, or France aren't what they used to be, Brazil aren't what they used to be. We're all going through our own personal changes at the end of the day. So we have to focus on ourselves and give the team the right assets to make sure that they can go out there and maximize their potential. But so far, I'm hopeful. I don't know why, but I'm remaining hopeful that things will be different, at least for the last stint before they go down under.
Guys, how important do you think? I'm coming through, piping through on the phone here. Good to be with you good folks, and for the viewers and subscribers, commenters, thumbs up, some really good comments. Full respect. How much do you think that the experience of the Reggae Girlz will come into play? God willing, inshallah, next year. They've got months more, years more experience from the last World Cup campaign. Do you think that they will have steadier heads and be able to come together and take on board the experience that they've had? So whether preparation is ideal or not, because they've got club experience and international experience for the most part, they'll be better equipped to actually combat and deal with the likes of Brazil and France and other teams should they come through the group.
Yeah, I think a massive difference compared to France was that in France we had a number of girls that were still in college. Some of them, you could say, not professional players, and we're coming up against Australia, France, and Brazil, fully professional teams. So that's one aspect out of the way. Secondly, it was a young, youthful team, not many players having a lot of caps under their belts. We're 3.5, 4 years onwards, so the experience is there. And if you look at the current, you could say, core that we have right now that was part of the qualifiers and so on, we're looking at about 12, 13 players that are continuing on for this 2023 cycle. The goalkeepers, the only change there was Rebecca Spencer has come into the mix with Nicole McClure not in that mix in the side of things. The defense, roughly the same with Vian Sampson in the picture. The midfield, we have the general herself in Drew Spence in the mix, and the attack, it's just a maturing one with Bunny in her mid-20s, Tiffany now 30, Kayla McCoy late 20s, 30 there, about Shadeda Amalekon, latter years of college. Apart from that, we're looking at a team that has matured, developed, enhanced, and it's like every single weekend, you hear Crystal talking about, or you see on Instagram the post about who score, who is assisting. It's like constantly they're stamping authority wherever they are, North America or Europe. They're making their talent known, and it's no surprise where the rise that Jamaica has had in their FIFA rankings in this short period of time. So better equipped, lessons learned. So now it's about ensuring that after these Paraguay games, there is a camp, there is a couple more friendlies for us to go into the World Cup sharp and ready and challenge for a round of 16 berth. I think every Jamaican fan would be happy if we can just go there and challenge. And if we get to the round of 16, every single one of us will be very, very happy.
That's something that sorry there, Mr. Stevens, I'll allow you to chime in. Just want to latch on to what Simon said. Yeah, that's something that kind of makes me hold my breath. It's the preparation. Yes, we do have a friendly for November, but what about the next window at early doors come next year? Where does it go from? Where do we go from there? Because at the moment we're underprepared, and we can't deny it. We can't sit here and lie to ourselves. I'm not going to be putting down our hopes to the fact that we have a talented squad, because you need to do something with your talent. You need to give them the right tools, and you need to back them sincerely. And that's one of my biggest criticism of the federation. And I'm not trying to place them under the microscope, but it's as clear as daylight that the men's program is prioritized over the women's program. Only Lord knows it's a miracle that you can be prioritized, yet still you underachieve in terms of the comparison between the men's program and the women's program. But maybe they're doing the women's team a favor when you prioritize the men's program, because over the last couple of World Cup cycles now, we've seen that even when they fell short prior to qualifying for the World Cup in France, that when their backs against the wall, that's when they perform at their best. So maybe we should probably be giving the federation a bit of credit for saying, well, thank you there for what you're doing, because you're actually inspiring the greatness in them, although I don't think it's intentional. But yeah, it's frustrating to see that the men's team is always prioritized over the women's team, and they underachieve. it's a smack in the face. I don't know how these women and young girls, how they manage to give a terrific account of themselves, not just playing wise, but also from a professional standpoint. How they manage to just hold it together is beyond me, because I can't think of a reason of how and why they manage to do it time and time again.
That's a very good point. I'll probably say cheers to woman power, dear.
I don't even remember who asked the question, but hopefully we've covered it. And I think you wanted to chime in there, Mr. Stevens.
Yes, I'm just trying to remember what I was going to say. I did make the point about if the added experience and professionalism of the Reggae Girlz would hold them in better stead come next year. So you have answered that, Mr. Beckford. Go ahead.
Well, you have said it all basically, but one thing I want to challenge is the fact that despite the experience gained, on the day the experience could play a big factor, but probably it won't affect the performance in such a big way, because we will have expectation knowing that they have been there before, and they will know how to handle themselves this time, because the pressure will be more based on the expectations. And in times like team is pressured more, it can go both ways. It can either cause the players them to perform better or crumble under pressure. But we just hope that the girls this time they will go with in each game with confidence, knowing that they can beat any team and perform to a level where they can challenge any team in the group, and have it in their mind that they can even go on to top the group, because with that thought you can move any mountain, and with that confidence you can outperform even the best team in the world, even surprising results. It's just that on the day you can use your experience yet, but the confidence in front of goal, the confidence in midfield, the confidence in the defense, it have to be there as well. Because if you get a chance, a clear-cut chance, you can miss it, and that one miss can cost you the game. So on the day, it's about being clinical and do what you're supposed to do in your respective positions and know your job, because if you don't know your job, you're basically gonna do anything. And in a game of football where it's a fast pace, you have to be your head have to be in the game at all times, because the least mistake you're gonna make it can lead to 2 or 3 goals, and we don't want that. We want to know that the girls are fully focused and they target, which is to pass the group stage and to advance to the round of 16 and to see how far they can go from there. At the end of the day, they will gain more experience and their ranking will improve, but their game will improve even after the World Cup. And that good will continue, and others player will be inspired when they see what the team have achieved. They will believe that they can also get into the ranks and also be a part of this greatness, because from there on it will be just it will become a norm, and that's what we want to see with both teams. We want it to be a norm, because I want to be in a position where I can be in the stand one day cheering for our Reggae Girls or Reggae Boys at a World Cup. No, it's not possible because of my situation, but who knows, in the future it can change. So we're looking for this and we want it to be a norm. But as I said, confidence goes a long way, because once you're confident, there's nothing impossible for you to do.
Full respect to that, Mr. Beckford. Full respect. I love what you were saying there. You're coming from a good place, genuine place. Simon, could I take the opportunity to ask you. I think you've touched on this before on Reggae Boys commentary. I think I asked a question relating to that, and you fielded this question before. How surprised are you that the Reggae Girlz, by and large, don't suffer from the quote-unquote isms and schisms, the fractions, and issues that beset the Reggae Boys? Seemingly, they don't. What's the difference? And do you think that the Reggae Boys can take a leaf out of the book of the Reggae Girlz? Their professionalism, the way they actually, have a kind of all for one for all focus despite what's going on, by and large. Are you surprised that the men don't take a leaf out of their book? And why do they conduct and carry themselves so well and do the country so proud?
Yeah, so I think you have to give credit to two organizations that have done a fantastic job with the girls, and the reason why there is that level of professionalism, and that's the Reggae Girlz Foundation and of course the Bob Marley Foundation. The Reggae Girlz Foundation ensuring that these girls have their necessities met and ensuring that they're staying at some fantastic facilities when they're on the island, the top-notch hotels, and ensuring that they are well taken care of. That's something that has been going well from their point of view. And of course, the Bob Marley Foundation are ensuring that there is that sort of investment within the program. So those are two things that has given them the edge where that is concerned. And in terms of the Reggae Boys taking a leaf from the Reggae Girlz, I'm hoping that is something that can happen very soon, because you see the clear evidence that happens already. If you have that team and that unit together, like a lot of these girls have been together from 2017, 2018, and you see the fruits of their labor with just a handful of the additions. You don't hear any qualms about any girls waiting 2 years or so for a Jamaican passport. No, you don't, because there's a proper process in place, the right people around them to assist to say, okay, these are the documents that you need, and you go down to the High Commission down in London to sort it out. So it's not something that is drawn out or dragged out. So that is why I would have to give credit to the Bob Marley Foundation, by extension the Reggae Girlz Foundation, to ensure that on this side of things, of course with the coaching staff, that all of these elements behind the scenes and off the pitch are well taken care of. So I'm hopeful that is something that we can learn from as well, because these elements are not difficult things to solve. It can be with a little hard work, a little grit, and a little preparation.
It's all right. You guys could continue.
Yes, Simon, if I may, I've been staggered. It's fully in my face. This Schoolboy's football fascination. I've gone onto YouTube to check out, the years gone by, just the caliber of goals, the caliber of players that have gone through the system, the Lamar Walkers, the Tyreek McGee's, and so on and so forth. And of course, we now have a very young, talented prospect who we've heard much about on social media, certainly, and the whole idea of matriculation. Is Schoolboy's football and the whole idea of matriculation a real issue that Jamaican fans, Crystal's been talking about the importance of the 12th man and 12th person, very, very important. I absolutely wholeheartedly support her in that, and having our minds set a particular way to be able to think for ourselves. And if one thinks for oneself critically and constructively, where do you think Jamaican football can end up? Or will we have and continue to have a plethora and diversification of views where there's no clear answer, which might be to the detriment of football in Jamaica? Or on the other hand, we may get some real clarity, because the long and short of it is, for example, we are not going to the World Cup in Qatar. We may not get to the next World Cup. We may not do well in the Gold Cup if we continue to have a cloudiness and not a clarity in terms of expectations and a vision of what we want for Jamaican football.
There needs to be a mind shift in terms of the thinking towards schoolboy football. 16, 17-year-old kids playing schoolboy football and thinking that they've made it. You know, they score a couple of goals, front page of the newspaper, get a couple of girls, and they think that they've made it, honestly. When there's a 15-year-old that made his debut for Arsenal earlier this year, Harvey Elliott made his debut at 16 for Fulham. And we can go on and on about Anthony Gordons and the Wayne Rooneys of this world. It just shows how much further we have to go. For me, if you're one of the best teenagers in the country, you should be playing in the Premier League for me, not schoolboy football. And I know it's a very strong and controversial view, but for me personally, it has to be the club football, because the clubs develop the talent. The school's primary focus is education. And for me, it has to be from the standpoint of the best being playing with their clubs. Alvas Poe, 17 at Portmore United, amongst many, many others. So for me, the best teenagers, that's where they should be. So they want to be drawn in a shell, because there's so many players that have been top scorer of schoolboy football, end up at some second division college in the States, and you never hear of them again. And that's it. And that's been the case for dozens and dozens of these kids. So for me, it's all about the JPL, where they get that exposure. If somebody invites them on a trial over to Europe, fine, cool breeze. That'd be nice.
It's just your delivery that made me laugh. You made a sound point, but it's your delivery that made me chuckle a bit. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It's interesting. I'm glad to hear you speak clearly and assuredly and with full respect, Simon. That's where I'm coming from. I wondered if I was being out of place by thinking, well, you know, why, if someone is talented enough, don't they then test themselves in the JPL, for example? Now, as you said, if they get a call up and get an opportunity to apply their trade abroad, great, because everyone's got different plans and particular pathways. But rather than trying to shining at that particular schoolboy's level, that only takes you so far. And you can't be having, as has been happened on social media, calls for young talent to be put into the national team, whether it's ostensibly JPL based squad or not. I think the debate is not been as mature as I would have liked to have seen. And what you just said is pretty much what I'm thinking. But all too often you hear people saying, "Nothing can't go, sir. Why are isms and schisms again? You know, why y'all put down this certain people like that? Certain people are put down, and certain people are being allowed through because they're in certain camps." And I find that divisiveness so frustrating. Mr. Beckford, do you have any particular points of view where this is concerned?
Seems like he might be frozen a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he
Mr.
might
Beckford? He might be. Well, Simon, I mean, and Crystal, are you surprised or frustrated, or is this par for the course that schoolboys football is just and then the various camps will continue to have their infighting and their views, because, you know, Jamaican culture is very strident in terms of their views? I think Mr. Beckford's moving again.
I didn't know the question I was referring.
We were talking about schoolboy football, and is it detrimental to Jamaican senior football going forward if you have schoolboy football starlets being overhyped and not actually being allowed to fairly and squarely be given opportunities to test themselves at a higher level amongst the professional ranks, for example, in the JPL, or if they get a call from a European club, for example, then great, go for it. But to be assumed to be good enough to represent a senior team, national team, having shone at schoolboy levels. Schoolboy football is totally different, as I'm sure you would agree, to professional clubs and international football. Speak.
That's a very good point to bring up. And to be honest, I don't think enough is being done to give them opportunity where they can either improve or shine based on the quality. Because every season, if you notice, there's some schoolboy who um show some level of quality in the schoolboy league, and they deserve to be exposed more. So the lack of exposure is a big factor. And when you inject them in the local league, I kind of think that they're just watering down their talent. To be honest, that's my opinion. Many won't agree, but this JPL is not of the quality that we want it to be. So when a schoolboy get the chance to play for a local club, how much will he improve? That's the issue. So that player keep playing in that league and until he's being looked at to play in the senior team. Right there, he could have been more advanced, but the situation is he didn't get as much chances to fly his trade somewhere else. I don't know if there are scouts out here that come from Europe and other places across the globe and look at the schoolboy and see if they can find one or two talented players they can get in their system or at academy level. I don't know because I never really make such inquiries, but I don't know if scouts are normally there watching just as the fans and looking at players they can pick or get, because at the end of the day, though that players if they are going to contribute to their club as well or to their football program, because if he have raw talent, he can always improve and learn more. And if he's a player that take the coaching advice good, or if he can follow instruction, then he will only get better. When that happens now, it will do well for our football team, our program, because we are not able to manufacture them into the footballer that we want to see them to be. So if they can get that opportunity from elsewhere, that would be fine. That will be good for our football program. Because at the moment we are not offering much to improve our players. For example, you remember Cardell Benbo that played for Charlie Smith.
I think we're getting a little bit of feedback there, Mr. Beckford. I don't know if I'm the only one that's getting it, but I think we're getting a little bit of a slight feedback from you. Can you hear me? Apologies, guys. We've got a few little maybe Wi-Fi issues here and there, so I do apologize. I've got maybe another 15 minutes until I need to put my face. There we go. You're back. Don't think he's back, guys. I think there's there's a Wi-Fi issue. All right, let's take him off temporarily.
But Sir W1 made a good point there in the comments, and I totally forgot. Yeah, you're 5 hours ahead of us now, so
yeah, I have a 5:30 start. Well, I wake up at 5:30. I have to be at the office by 9 o'clock sharp. So yeah, I mean, I can do another 15 minutes, and I gotta go and share out my lunch for tomorrow, and then it's bedtime. But yes, I am now 5 hours ahead of you. Mr. Stevens, you're smiling. I feel like you've got another question there for Simon P. I could be wrong, but you seem like you're eager for another question.
No, I was fascinated listening to Mr. Beckford and Simon's take on Schoolboy's football, and I was looking at the comments. I just wanted to know what the commenters have been saying regarding the preparation for the Reggae Girlz, and of course regarding Schoolboy's football. Was there anything that has been taking your attention?
I think it's probably the usual some of the stuff that's already been said between yourselves and the panelists. I don't think it's any different to what we've heard before, but preparation. I think before we can even dream of anything, we need to make sure that we're prepared for what's ahead of us, and that's my main worry. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but that is my main worry, preparation. And just stifling out this obvious favoritism. It's quite obvious that there's some favoritism there going on. Not to do with Lauren Donaldson, to avoid confusion. I'm talking about favoritism between the men's program and the women's program. Clear favoritism there going on. So hopefully, and I won't hold my breath, but hopefully next year we'll see things change with the Adidas money coming through the pipeline. Hopefully we won't hear no excuses, and things will start to look up, and we'll get a bit more balance when we talk about the women's program. Maybe not, but like I said, don't know about you guys. I won't be holding my breath. Brace yourself for inevitable excuses, although there shouldn't be any excuses, because there should be FIFA money on the table there for the Reggae Girlz. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens next year, and see if it's same old or something different.
When I raised the question of preparation, I didn't know that it was going to be such a deep and thorny issue even at this point. I find, isn't it ironic that the Reggae Girlz have been putting a smile on the faces of Jamaican fans, footballing fans, sports fans, and in the results, they've been putting Jamaican female football on the map, good and proper. Compare and contrast to the men's game, and it's just ironic how much humble pie certain people are willing to eat and consume is one thing. But I really do hope that the women's game, which is one of the reasons why I was this has been the first port of call by way of a live broadcast since my in-laws left, because the women's game, it's thriving. It is thriving in England. I've got strong feelings about this year's Champions League. I think the English teams have got a great chance of lifting the Women's Champions League. Looking strong. Arsenal, Man City, very, very good things going on. And I just find it very frustrating. And I hope things do change in terms of the awareness and the spotlight being put onto the women's game in Jamaica, because there's a lot of depth, quality, passion, and interest. And compare and contrasting to the Reggae boys, the isms and schisms is just so tiring.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. Tiring. I don't think there's anything left to add to that. It is a tiresome comparison. One leaves you feeling happy, the other probably leaves you feeling borderline depressed and fed up. But it is what it is. It depends how committed you are to your team. The unfortunate thing about following Jamaica football is that it's your country at the end of the day. So it's not like you can pull out. Maybe for your club, the argument is there that I can turn a blind eye to you. But when it's your country, it's a little bit different. You're always going to have that attachment to them. So we're in it for the long run. probably unfortunate for some people, but it's your country, so you can never turn your back on them. We can be hopeful, but again, I'll just reiterate what's been said before. I'm not necessarily looking at the federation. I'm more looking at me as the 12th man and wondering what I can do to help better the game, not just the women's game, but just football in general. And yeah, hopefully that the rest of the 12 men can do the same, because it's quite clear and obvious that help is needed. I don't think you need anyone to tell you that help is definitely needed, but it's down to each individual to decide what help looks like, what assistance looks like.
Simon, I've raised this point before. Crystal point well made, crystal clear style. Absolutely, as per usual. Simon, Jamaican football faces challenges and opportunities. You've got the database. You've had interviews. You're aware of young talent applying their trade in academies in England, players who are Jamaican eligible, talented, as there are many talented players all around the world, including in Jamaica. Challenges and opportunities. Which one carries sway as far as you're concerned? And do you think that the Jamaican fans, Reggae Boys, commentary, social media, how responsible should we be in terms of, and how influential should we be in terms of helping to garner, develop, offer reasoned debate and a way forward where Jamaican football can truly thrive, instead of being brought down into the quicksand of sectarianism, for want of a better word?
It's tremendously important to see what other persons on this platform are doing, because mainstream on the island, it's not a lot of focus specifically on the national teams. Track and field gets a lot of coverage, and so does cricket. But when it comes to football, results, an interview with a player, boom, that's it, story done. When it's a little bit deeper than that, and there are certain aspects that can be enhanced and improved on, that is why, you know, this sort of platform and what other Jamaicans are doing is tremendously important and play a vital role. And it's a stakeholder group that should not be ignored, discouraged by any means. All stakeholders play an important role in this process as well. They should not be ignored or forgotten about. And, you know, I think it's important that those that hold the power recognize the important stakeholders and show that everyone has a role to play in this particular process in time, and that nobody should be ignored. Your opinion should not be brushed aside by any means, and that those individuals with power recognize what this platform means and the impact that it is making.
And by way of challenges and opportunities, when you look at Jamaican football, the men's game and the women's game, is it challenges that are greater than the opportunities, or is it opportunities that outweigh the challenges?
In many aspects, you could say a mixture of both, but if you had to lean towards one, you'd say that there are opportunities, but it's outweighed by challenges, because there's always, yeah, this is a good idea, but it's going to cost us £500,000, and FIFA has already given us this amount of money. So there is always going to be that matter. And when the reality of the situation is that you have the diaspora that are ready to help, ready to hold up their hand. I'm quite surprised that there's never been a GoFundMe for the JFF before. Quite surprised about that matter, because you know the UK is behind it right now with the national teams. You know the States as well, and you know Canada is as well right there. Anything that the country needs, they would be willing to support. Die-hard football fans. So when people say, yes, a camp would be great or an academy would be great, well, these are the priority things. This is what's going to put us in perhaps the top 30 ranked countries in the world. And I think that should be a genuine aim for us to be one of the top 30 teams in the world. So if that is an ambition of ours, we need to understand that there are strides that we have to make. And sometimes we have to bite our bullet when it comes to funding and what it might cost, because this is long-term investment. This is what we're going to see a decade or two down the road. Jamaica winning an under-17 World Cup. That's not, deluded thinking, because we've shown that at age group tournaments we can compete. So why can't we one day go to an under-17 World Cup and do that as well? So yeah, to answer your question, it really is that the challenges outweigh those opportunities.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Simon. My battery's on 5%, and I've got to do the school run in a few hours' time. So I'm going to wait and see if Crystal is a woman of her word. 15 minutes usually in Crystal's book is, you times that by 3, divide by 4, and then times again by 10, and that'll give you her version of what 15 minutes is. She is a yeoman. Crystal, how you doing, girl?
I don't like kicking people off my streams like that. It's not something
I know.
that I enjoyed. So I try to be patient with people. I don't, because people just give up their time, and I can't repay no one for their time. Time is so precious. So I like to just be fair with people and their time. Thankfully for me, I drop asleep, not even intentionally, by accident, twice today. So I'm semi-charged up for tomorrow, and it's a regular 9 to 5. So hopefully I'll be out of the office by 5 p.m. and make my way home. So I should be able to survive it. So I'll say give it another 5 minutes if you guys have any closing points, and then I'll have to call it a night.
Yeah, from my end, I would say I hope that fans in the country can come out to support the girls, whether in Mobay or Kingston or both, if you have the means and opportunity to do so, and look at this as your opportunity to bond with the team, bond with the squad, get to know the faces better ahead of the World Cup, because this could very well be the last chance where we have home games prior to the World Cup itself. So utilize this opportunity well. A majority of the girls will be arriving on the island on Monday afternoon Jamaica time, around midnight UK time, Tuesday morning. So use this opportunity to get to know the girls.
Hold on. I want to put a smile on somebody's face. You ready?
Yeah.
Yaga yow. Tiffany the boat. Heel up, Tiffany. Heel up. Crew the boat. Big up.
Look how
one more time.
Change. I hope you guys haven't gone all shy on me. I forgot my manners, Tiff. Is it good morning? Good morning to yourself. It's an early morning. Safe travel to you and the gang. Making your trip to Jamaica on Monday. So may you all land safely. Simon, I cut you off there. My apologies, but I had to give a little special moment to Miss Cameron herself.
I lost for words now.
Oh God.
Yeah, but hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, we use this opportunity to support the girls. It's a grand opportunity and your last chance possibly to see them at home before the qualifiers. So utilize it, and let's get the girls some support to get us some wins, because the higher we move up the table, our ranking improves, and of course our reputation grows within the region, and our seedings for future tournaments impress as well. So it's all worth it long term.
Well, there you have it. Tiff is saying she's at the airport, right? Wow. Been traveling since 10:30 p.m.
Long day.
That is a long day. That just sounds like a whole heap of traveling. It's not good, is it? Well, I hope that, I can't say I hope, you are going to be jet lagged, but I hope it's not a sore one when you eventually touch down on home soil. That's outrageous. So yeah, good luck, Tiff. Better you than me, but you're a soldier, so you're the president. Can't be calling you a soldier. You're the one that send your troops out to war. So my apologies. Yeah, I have to wear it because of the ring lights. The ring lights doing a number on my eyes. So glad to get your seal of approval. And yeah, you got some love from the panelists and the guys in the comment section as well. There's a comment there for Simon. I'm not gonna add to what's been accused. I'm going to leave it in the comment section. You probably take a quick little glance on it. Can't wait to see you playing. My three panelists have gone shy all of a sudden. Before Tiffany came along, they were extremely talkative. Now they've gone quiet. You guys, even Mr. Stevens, that is quite surprising. You guys don't have nothing to say all of a sudden?
I'm not looking to hog anything. I mean, Tiffany, she seems like she's had a long day. It's lovely, to hear from Tiffany. She has been a supporter of your show, and it's really good to know that wherever she is at the airport at the moment, that she's tuned in to Talawa TV. So that's a ringing endorsement right there. So we're not hogging. We're respectful. Acknowledge that she's tired. Grateful that she's piped up with some text and joined the fellow commenters. So please continue to hit the like, share, and subscribe, and support the Reggae Girlz.
Don't give me that, Mr. Stevens.
Oh yeah, sir.
You're starstruck. So don't give me none of that. The floor is yours. The floor is all yours. Same goes for Simon as well, Mr. Beckford.
I've got the school run. Crystal. You surprised us, and Tiffany surprised us with a lovely surprise. But you know what? I don't believe we're starstruck. We're honored and we're respectful. Everything is good. Everything's good. And she's a fantastic footballer and a lovely person to boot. It is good to be in such company and have such representation at the Reggae Girlz level. We salute and we give thanks. Everything is everything. No hogging.
If you're like this over the internet, what are you like if you actually go face to face with these Reggae Girlz? I don't even know if you can stand on both legs. That's all I'm saying. So you're fumbling at the moment. So if you want to butter up the thing and say whatever, say it. But I know you well enough to know that that's not the case.
I probably be lost.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Mr. Beckford, you were saying something?
I probably lost a word. I didn't realize I muted myself.
No, that's fine. I thought you was going quiet on us.
No. I have to change where I was because my coworker misunderstood what I said when I said I wasn't alive.
Okay.
You're gone past your 5 minutes now. You're quite content, you, Crystal.
Look, I'm quite content. I didn't get to do it today, so every time you see me looking down, I'm trying to update my socials before I go to bed. Like I said, I've got to be up in the next 4.5 hours. But on a positive, it is Reggae Girlz Week. It's finally here. International break is finally upon us. Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't get a window for October in case you guys missed that. I don't know if I've said that before, but we didn't get a October window. Still a little bit salty over that, but we do have the all-important game coming up against Paraguay. 2 fixtures on home soil. So if you're in Jamaica, make sure you get yourself to either the Catherine Hall Stadium or at the National Stadium. I'm going to give it another spin so you guys can listen to the all-important information. Let's see, Simon's taking himself off screen. Let me just do something quickly.
Because Reggae Girlz hosts South American Stars of Paraguay in 2 friendly internationals on November 10. Pack the Montego Bay Stadium and show some love. Grandstand $2,000, bleachers $1,000. Then on November 13, let's rock the National Stadium. Grandstand $3,000, bleachers $1,500. Students 19 and under with ID. Both games in the bleachers for only $500. Sponsors. Bring out the family and show some love.
So, there you guys have it. That's all the necessary information there for you all. I don't know if you guys have any closing remarks. I'm aware of my 5 minutes. I did say 5 additional minutes. I'm aware that it's coming to an end. But adding to that, I guess it's only right to go ahead and just reiterate the first half of the program there as it relates to the all important call up. If I can get it up on my screen, that is. But before I do so, let's just take a look at the ticketing information there. For those of you who are fortunate to be on home soil, not all of us are that lucky. You can go ahead and take a quick glance at your ticket information. You should be able to see this one in front of you. No, you cannot. I'm lying. Let's go ahead and change that. You should be able to see it now. And yeah, as I've already reiterated, we have a series coming up against Paraguay on the 10th of November. Kickoff is at 8 p.m. Jamaica time, that is. And this one kicks off at the Catherine Hall Stadium. And 3 days later, on Sunday, the 13th of November, you have a bit of an earlier kickoff, 6 p.m. kickoff, again against said opponents at the office. And you can go ahead and screenshot this one for your all-important ticketing information and make sure you show out in your numbers, or I should say show up in your numbers and support the team. Who knows when you'll see them on home soil again? Maybe it might be post-World Cup. Who knows? And whilst we're at it, let's go ahead and take a look at the all-important squad announcement. I'm going to do things as I usually would and starting things off between the sticks because I kind of feel like that's the right way of reading out squad announcement. Right, so between the sticks, we have Rebecca Spencer, Sydney Schneider, Leo Brooks. In midfield, we have Drew Spence, Chinilu Asher, Havana Stallone, Shania Hales, Chanel Buckley, Zoe Matthews, Rachel Jones, Trudy Carter, and Tierney Wiltshire. In defense, we have the Swaby sisters. That's Chantel Swaby and Alison Swaby. We got the welcome return there of Konya Plummer, Satara Murray, Denden Blackwood, Siobhan Wilson, and Vian Sampson. And our forward line consists of Bunny Shaw, Shayna Matthews, another welcome return there for a Reggae Girl who has been out of action, quite similar to Plummer due to personal reasons. Jody Brown, Paige Bailey Gill, Tiffany Cameron, Kayla McKenna, it says on there. That's also Kayla McCoy, recently married for those of you who are wondering. So don't be confused. It is still Kayla McCoy. There's no new addition in that regard. And to complete the pack, you have Atlanta Premise. Hopefully I didn't breeze through that one. I felt like I did. You might have to hit the rewind button. Race Against Time is for me. And that is how we're looking. That is how we're looking there. Thankfully, my panelists are still here, although I'm hiding one of their faces. So let's go ahead and correct that before I'm gonna do another update on my socials. So I'll allow you guys to make any additional comments if needs be.
If I may, I'd just like to quickly say again, thanks very much to all the commenters and subscribers. I've just been looking at the comments and I've picked up on Mr. Mikey Ballin himself. Mikey.
Oh, Mikey.
Mikey. Listen, man, long time no see, man. We need to link up. But good to hear that you are alive, giving thanks and well, hopefully, man. It'd be great to link up with you sometime. But thanks for supporting, as well as all the commenters and subscribers out there. Thanks for continuing to support Talawa Football TV, Talawa TV, the Reggae Girlz program. And I'm looking forward to these 2 games against Paraguay on the 10th and 13th. I'm going to be very interesting to see how the team goes. I saw some of the games featuring Paraguay in the South American championships where Brazil beat Colombia 1-0 in the final. And they're a handy unit if they come out with their A team. But it'll be a very good test, interesting test for the Reggae Girlz. So yes, by all means, give a strength to the Reggae Girlz on the 10th and 13th. If you can attend one of them, that's great. If you can attend both of them, terrific. But I will be following from afar, but my heart will be with the Reggae Girlz and really wishing them well. It's a bumper season of football. Men's World Cup, Women's World Cup next year, World Athletics Championships, as Simon said, next year. Oh gosh, man, I mean, All Blacks are over here in the Northern Tour. Bagger excitement. But the Reggae Girlz, they are set to do us proud next year, and really looking forward to some decent preparation for them, and that they can put their best foot forward in a tough group. But it's tough because they will be one of the tough opponents for their rivals. So yeah, exciting times, and stay blessed one and all.
You guys have any other final remarks there? You all remarked out.
Yes, I want to say it's a pleasure to be on this live with all you panelists. I'm so glad that I could be a part of this team tonight to contribute to the show. And I hope that before this show is finished, there's enough live persons that like the show, because she deserves it. More than 3 hours of quality content where we share our opinions and we discuss how we want to see our football progress. And if I had known that it was this easy to join, I would have joined a long time. But then again, the settings wasn't right before now. So continue to support the show and continue to give Crystal the support. She have put in all the hard work, she deserves it. And you fans are doing great as well, keeping tuned and up to date with our show. I did want to say big up to Tiffany as well. I just felt that she's always in the live. Always in the supporting this show behind the scene. I always see she comments and so on. And let us continue the best for the girls and believe that our girls are going to do well in this World Cup. I have high expectation for them because I know that they are capable of going even past the round of 16. So I hope I can join the next time, and big up to the person in the comment section as well. And please like up the show.
You are always welcome to join the show. Sometimes I actually forget to drop a link in the comment section, and I stopped doing it on match days because people would assume that it's a link to the match, and then they'll be just staring at you in the studio and you're like, well, this isn't the game. So that's why I just nowadays I keep forgetting to drop the link. But if I don't drop the link, then just ask me to drop the link in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to have you guys on. Just as long as everyone just do what the guys have done tonight, and that's just to be respectful. Like I keep on asking for it, not particularly for myself, more so for my guests and the players as well, and even for the Jamaica Football Federation and the backroom staff. We're all going to have a difference. We're all going to look at things differently. We're not always going to like the way they conduct their business and so on, but it's not really any need for us to like outrightly disrespect them, and that includes me as well. Sometimes emotions can get the better of us, but we just have to make sure that we give people the respect that they deserve, particularly the players more so than anything, because you don't really know what people are going through on a personal level. So yeah, just be mindful when you come onto my platform. I can't tell you how to do things on other people's platform because that's their platform, but with my platform, as always, just read the room. And thank you to my panelists for doing exactly that, for just remaining respectful, and to you guys in the comment section. And I noticed that it is different on my platform because some of you in the comment section, you're extremely well mannered. And when I see you on other platforms, I'm not going to call no names, but it's a different person. So thank you for helping to just keep my platform the way I want it to be, and for just one, reading the room, and two, acting accordingly, because I know that behaviors are different on other people's platforms. So thank you for that. And that is about it. Before I forget my manners, massive thank you to you guys there in the comments section, the ultimate 12 man, for always backing me with my unplanned timings of my live stream. It is always unplanned, so my apologies. I try to get better. Also to Tiffany Cameron as well, always randomly listening. And I didn't expect her to be listening on today of all days, because I thought she'd be catching her beauty sleep, but she's up on her way to the airport, which is quite something. Hopefully, these girls are able to have a safe journey to Jamaica as they look to go into the November window. That's the international break, and we're always going to be expecting a good show of performance from our team, and they always do that. So I'm pretty much expecting the same, but more importantly, before we even get to the game, hopefully they have a safe travel and all is well. They're going to be jet lagged by the sound of things, but isn't water wet when we're dealing with the Jamaica Football Federation, unfortunately. And also, massive thank you to my panelists. Again, did not expect to have any panelists on tonight. I thought I was only going to do a show for 30 minutes. It's been over 3 hours. It's remarkable. Mr. Beckford, Mr. Stevens, Mr. Preston, thank you so much for blessing me with a moment of your time. New week ahead. I'm already in my dreaded Monday morning. What time is it here? It's almost 1:30 a.m. I hope you guys have a blessed week. I hope you have a productive week. If you're making your way to the National Stadium or to Catherine Hall to watch the senior women's team take on Paraguay on November the 10th in Catherine Hall, or November the 13th of the National Stadium, I hope that you make it there safe and sound, and I hope you have a safe journey home as well. I know a few of you in the comment section are going to the game, so I hope you enjoy the occasion. Make sure you sing and you cheer and you give the girls their much needed support, right? Because this is the first time you're going to see them after qualifying for 2 successive World Cup on the bounce. So make sure you give them a warm welcome. And before I forget, I know Mr. Stevens, you're on mute there. I'm going to give you a chance to say what needs to be said. Let me actually bring you in before I forget to do so. Go ahead, Mr. Stevens.
My apologies. Yes, I was indeed on mute. So that name, the W, this gentleman, I assume it's a gentleman, Sir W. He's been piping up with some lovely comments. So thanks very much for listening. And yeah, it's good to be back.
You don't know who that is?
Who is it?
You really don't know? Oh, I'm disappointed with you. He's always giving you a big up.
So W1. Well, I've been away for a while. So W1.
Even today he came on and he hailed you up. He hailed up Mikey. I'm not saying I'm hurt. I'm a little bit disappointed, Mr. Stevens.
Is that the gentleman who actually who was on the telephone?
Yes, it is.
Well, I didn't know that. I was unaware of that. What dulcet tones that gentleman had. I commented, I called him Brigadier. Big up yourself. Thank you very much. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And to all those commenters and subscribers, lovely to see Rochelle and Mikey Ballin, of course, and Toffee Rudy, everyone in the comment section. Continue to support Talawa TV. Continue to be as respectful as you are on the platform. It's a pleasure seeing Simon. Simon, keep up your work with Reggae Boys commentary. I've got my own little something, especially with the World Cup coming up. Rich Post Sports, and as a Seleção Brazilian fan, I'm going to be piping up with a lot of coverage around that. Hopefully this will be a particularly special time if they can bring it home. The 6th World Cup, it's not going to be easy, but yeah, exciting times. And of course, as a Gunners fan, it's really good times. And yeah,
you can't help yourself, can you? You can't. You know who Simon supports. You just cannot help yourself.
Well, you assume that things are taken for given. I'm now going to assume that somehow Simon is Simon a Spurs fan?
Oh, don't insult the man like that.
I mean, are you a Gunners fan, Simon?
Definitely not.
Not Man United?
He's a Man U fan.
Well.
I was at Old Trafford, mate. I was at Old Trafford. Actually,
When were you at Old Trafford?
When they defeated Spurs, I was in the Stratford end.
Respect.
Yeah, man,
Respect.
try to catch 2 games a season, man. Try my best.
You hear that? He catches games even though he's not in the country, unlike some. I'm not throwing shade at anyone, but the man comes to the country and I'm not naming nobody, but I'm just saying. You heard what he said. I tried to catch games. I'm not really throwing anyone under the bus or anything, but hello.
I see some legs dangling under a bus. I see some legs dangling. I see some legs and I see a shiny head at the other side. I wonder who that could. Who could it be, Ja? I'm not saying anything, but if the cap fits on that shiny, bald, lovely head of his, look here. Oh boy! I tell you, Manchester United. Yeah, well, the Premier League, it just keeps on giving. It just keeps on giving. Drama is assured. What I love about the Premier League, it's drama assured, particularly on the pitch. Yes, particularly on the pitch, not off the pitch. But yeah, Man United. Where do you start? Where do you end? Boy, oh boy. Hey, can I quickly say, I'll ask a question. Simon, I've noticed on some platforms and WhatsApp groups, some people, Jamaican fans particularly, they have a hard time getting it through their heads that Arsenal are credible, genuine title contenders and deserve respect for that alone. They seem to really genuinely have a hard time saying anything really positive about Arsenal compared to the likes of Liverpool, who are being called Liverpool now in some quarters, and the Man Cities, the Chelseas. They seem to get a lot of kudos. Is there any reason why?
Banter and lack of success in over a decade. So that's why fans would just not take Arsenal seriously. But winning games, that's what will turn the corner. And if Arsenal is in the top 4 by the start of the new year, some heads could turn. Give it time.
Fair dues, son. Fair dues. They're certainly winning games hand over fist at the moment.
You
a
are
tremendous
so
win at Stamford Bridge.
Enjoy your moment. Don't make me rain on your parade. Enjoy your moment. You've earned it. Enjoy it. Soak it up. Soak up the moment. You've earned it.
It's good. It's good times, and to see where Arsenal and Arteta were last season, rock bottom after 3 games, a barrage of criticism, rightly so. The way the team have bounced back, I've just got to give a lot of admiration for everyone involved in the Arsenal setup. Manchester United, I've got plenty of time for. Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the greatest managers that I've had the privilege of seeing in action from afar as an armchair fan ostensibly, but he's always been a hard act to follow. I think Ten Hag is going to do a decent job. He's got some challenges on his hands though. He's got some challenges and some decisions. Watch this. I'm going to throw this Simon's way. You see this 5 minutes? It's 5 minute itis.
You guys are actually doing me a favor because whilst you're talking, I'm just readying up my social media stuff, which I haven't managed to do throughout the day. So yeah.
Well, that means that we're happy to help. We're happy to help. We're happy to help. That's beautiful. Simon, if I say Cristiano Ronaldo, helpful or a hindrance at United, what say you? Speak!
Right now as you speak, in 2022, hindrance. Full stop.
Clear as crystal. That's fair.
There's no mucking about with that one. Straight down the middle.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I've got a cousin from Jamaica, Papa D, Dennis, and he said the moment Cristiano signed on the paper, He said this is going to end badly. It's not a good move. His ego and his presence and his history is too big for the club. And in terms of where he is as a footballer, it's not going to be good for Manchester United. I was a little bit aghast at what he was saying, but he's been proved right thus far. It's not unequivocal. I think Man United have got some talented players today. I mean, you know, they took a good old beating at the hands of Aston Villa 3-1, but to be fair, no Bruno Fernandes suspended and no Anthony, you know, wonderful Brazilian right winger. So the creative juices weren't there for the likes of Ronaldo, who's still a pretty sharp shooter. And they just seem to be off their game, and definitely second best from the highlights that I saw against a Villa team that are now managed by a former Arsenal. I was going to say great, just a former Arsenal manager, Mr. Emery. And yeah, it's a lot of work to be done, following in the footsteps of Sir Alex Ferguson. A very, very difficult task, as we've seen managers come and go. But yeah, the World Cup is hopefully going to be a chance for a reboot and a reevaluation, and they go again. Mr. Bexford, are you a Premier League fan?
Yes, I'm a City fan, but I'm not. I don't feel away when they say that I'm a Wagonist, but I support.
How long have you been a Man City? I'm assuming it's Manchester City.
Yeah, that's the main reason why they say that I'm a Wagonist, but the lack of access to technology at the time. But when I do start follow football or get access to football in a way where I can pick a team, I fall in love with City and their style of football. So people should understand that it doesn't matter the history of a club. The fact still remains that everybody have a choice. The reality is not everyone will support Manu, not everyone will support Liverpool. Everybody have their choices based on the style of football or the period or the era in which they start to follow the sports. That's just the reality. And I will always be a City fan, irrespective of the fact that we have never won a Champions League, but it's in the pipeline. And I believe that City can do it. But unless Pep stop the experimenting at crucial phase in the competition, we can win it.
Let me ask you something there, Mr. Bedford. Sorry to cut you off. It's a stupid question. Actually, no, let me not ask that, because I know you're going to say yes. But do you not fear that winning the Champions League would result in Pep going away? Because that's what he wants. So that's an end of an era. So it's a bittersweet moment for you then, isn't it? Like, yes,
that's a very good question, but
kings of the
world,
but then kings of Europe, but then it means that he's going to be moving on.
Well, I can only hope that he stays, but if he want to go, then we can't do anything about it. We just hope that the person that replace Pep can continue the work that Pep and Pellegrini and those managers have put in over the years to bring City where they are now, and continue and even win more Champions League, because the absence of Pep doesn't mean that City will the style of football will be at a point where you can't recognize City anymore, because if you notice, once you keep those set of players, the football will still be good enough for them to challenge for titles and so on. The thing is that when Pep joined take over managering, City was already a quality team. So that makes his job much easier compared to other coaches that have to build a side from, say, for example, Fulham that just joined back the Premier League. It won't be easy for them because they are looking at how they can keep up in the league.
Listen, Fulham is something else. If it wasn't for Bobby Reid, I would have so much more to say about Fulham, but they are something else. To put it politely, they are a yo-yo club. It's up and down, season after season, up and down. Are you going to save yourself from the drop? It's a little bit tiring. But of course we want them to do well because that's the home of one of our reggae boys. But they are a yo-yo club with the greatest respect to them. Would like to see things change, but can they do that? I mean, Mr. Beckford, you had one there over the weekend. I mean, I don't know what prayer you guys said before that game, but don't say it for your next game because it's working in your favor. That was not a penalty.
Well, sometimes you have to be smart when you're playing football. If you see a way where you can sneak a win, then why not take it? I realize that De Bruyne smartly used the occasion to earn a penalty in the last minute. But I'm happy for the win anyway. I realized that it wasn't really a strong call for penalty, but it was given, and football will always be like this. There will be questionable calls and there will be calls that people will lash out on, but it is what it is.
It's so
We just have to accept and move on.
Yeah, I like the way you summarize that. The penalty kind of reminds of me of like your Sir Alex Ferguson's team, which makes me laugh now because like my best friend is a Manchester United fan and he absolutely despises City. And I just laugh and I'm like, well, now you're getting the taste of your own medicine. This is what we had to put up with Sir Alex and his Fergie time just beating us for fun. You see a Fergie side with Edwin between the sticks, and you got a Rooney. You already know the game is over before it's been won. Once you see Sir Alex Ferguson on the sideline popping his chewing gum, it's a wrap. The 3 points is theirs. So I kind of like to see the way Manchester City are doing things now, just because it annoys a couple of the Manchester United fans. But yeah, can Arsenal take the title from them this season? That's a tall ask. That's a well-oiled machine in Pep Guardiola and his soldiers. They've been there, done that. This new crop of Arsenal as a team, they haven't done it. Individuals have done it. Coincidentally, they've come from Manchester City, but as a team, they've not won a major honor. So I don't know. I like the optimism there from certain section of the Arsenal fans, but yeah. We haven't even got to halfway through the season. So, yeah, just take it one game at a time is what I would say.
Well, I love what Arsenal is doing now. At the moment, Liverpool is not pushing us, and we need competition to be from the top come right down, and Arsenal is giving that, and that's good. But I'm gonna be fair though. I don't think that Arsenal will have the legs to finish the way they started.
Yeah.
They're going to finish in the top four for sure.
Hope
But
so. Hope so.
but if they don't win the league, which as I said, it's a debate to itself. But they at the moment they're doing well, and I would just want the Arsenal fans to enjoy the moment while it lasts. Um, and still we
Mr.
still
Stevens, you're
get
really gonna let him talk about your team like that?
I'm letting him speak.
Maybe he's throwing shade at Simon. I don't know, because I already know where my season lies. So I don't even need to respond. He's basically saying, have your little fun whilst you can, but when it's time to get the title, we already know where it's going. I personally wouldn't let him talk about my team like that, Mr. Stevens, but we're different here. We're two different people.
Yeah, man, manageable. He's entitled to his opinion. Let him speak. When he's finished speaking, then I would pipe in. I've got a question for Simon, which is, what does Simon feel Man United's current strengths are?
A good manager, a manager that is not a yes man, that is not just following what social media might say or what persons on the outside may want, but having a certain level of tolerance that no man is bigger than the club. We saw that with the likes of Beckham and company in the past, Rooney, Ronaldo, Keane, and now it's the same once more. So a manager that knows exactly what he's doing.
I hear that. I hear that. It's good. It's good to say. I heard people on certain radio stations saying that Ten Hag very early in his tenure was not big enough for the job. And I think a bit of a cheap dig, way too early to be speculating and talking like that and jumping to such conclusions. And I think that given time, he can do a very good job. As I said, Sir Alex Ferguson's boots, very big boots to fill. Man City with Pep Guardiola, he seems to have overshadowed the likes of Mancini and Pellegrini, who won silverware for Man City. But Guardiola's shadow and achievements, even though he's not lifted with City the Champions League yet, he may not. Who knows? But the legacy in terms of the football that has been produced, it's certainly going to live long, and it's a hard act to follow. So Alex Ferguson was extremely hard by way of an act to follow. Arsene Wenger has proved really difficult to follow, and this is why we've got to say hats off to Arteta, because I think he's probably the closest we've seen that I can recall to a manager who's given Arsenal fans such pride in performance and having the mental steel to actually deliver. It's going to take the mother of all efforts to live with Manchester City. Liverpool, who I thought it was going to be their season. I thought that they would simply be too hungry and too talented to be held off this season, having just been pipped by Manchester City after monumental efforts of the last couple of seasons. Arsenal, I think they're here to do something one game at a time. That's the old mantra, one game at a time. So let's just do that. See how the cards fall. After 38 games, a team usually finishes where they deserve to be finishing. So let's just see how the cards fall. But right now, two stylistically talented, beautiful to watch teams, and I'm enjoying the battle. Man City are the team to beat, still the team to beat. But Arsenal going about their business, and long may that continue.
All right.
I must say that, to be honest, people believe that it's easy to support City, but I'm sure there are matches where people see where City are falling behind, even when they are dominating the game. But those times, those dramas are fun to watch, and it's a part of football that keeps football interesting. Because when you watch and you see those events or turn-up events, it shows you that as good as City is, they are not invincible. And they can be beaten by any side as well on a given day.
Of course.
But, what some fans fail to admit is when something I do it is that when they realize that their side is not so, as how they put it, they try to be biased. But the reality is there are times you can be biased, but there are times that you just have to accept the reality about your team and hope that things improve. There are a lot of room for our City to improve as well, especially in defense. And sometimes the midfield doesn't offer anything, but it is football. Not every day the team will perform at the level that we expect it. But at the end of the day, we as fans should support our team irrespective of the result. And also, I don't think that Manuel glory days is yet over. It can come back, but not as though, not as good as how his name is putting me. What is his name again? His era.
Sir Alex Ferguson?
Yes, I don't think anyone can really replicate that now, but it's yet to be seen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
They have a good team. It's just for them to get whatever they need to sort out together and continue. But I don't dismiss the fact that their glory days is now finished. I think they can replicate it, but it will take some hard work and time.
True word. True word,
I
Mr.
agree with
Beckford.
you with that. Definitely agree with you with that. I think I've made a decision, guys, to just do maybe the rest of my socials tomorrow or whilst I'm on my way to work. Just because there's quite a fair bit to get through, and I'm probably gonna end up confusing myself. So I think I might just do this one on my morning commute. Yeah, why not?
Why not, indeed? I'm going. Parting is
No,
such
no, no,
sweet
no, no,
sorrow.
Richard, Mr.
Watch out.
Stevens, I need to
Yes.
grab you.
Yes.
I'm gonna phone you after my live stream just for 1 minute because I probably won't get the time to do it during the week because these days yeah, I'm on some crazy shifts. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm just gonna call you for like 60 seconds and then I'll let you get your beauty sleep.
Bless. No problem at all. Can I quickly ask one question? A
To Simon.
titillating question to Simon and Mr. Beckford. And you can you can answer as well if you want to, but I'm looking forward to your phone call. World Cup, Qatar, 20th of November, kicks off. If I say 4 teams that you expect to be in the latter stages of the competition and throw in one team that you just love to see do well, what say you?
Well, for my brackets, I have Brazil, Argentina in semi-final 1, and semi-final 2, I have Belgium, England. The team I'd like to see do well is Mexico, and my dark horse for the tournament would be Denmark. Not to win the tournament, but to cause a few surprises.
Good man. I've got Brazil and Argentina in one bracket, and I've got, I think it's France and Belgium, I believe, in the. It's France, yeah, I've got it over there. Yes, I've got a Brazil-France final, but things can happen. Things can happen. That's on the basis that yeah. What can you say? It's going to be very interesting. England, oh, God. Mr. Beckford, Mexico and Denmark. Good man. Mexico. Why Mexico, Simon?
They're CONCACAF, so I want to support them because I think that they're tremendously, in terms of their size and population and talent worth, round of 16 is below their potential, in my opinion. I think there should be a team that should be at the quarterfinals of a World Cup. So I want to see them thrive, and who knows, that could be more places for us come the 2030 cycle. So I want a CONCACAF team to have a deep run.
Well said. Well said. It will be interesting. So you're tipping them to and willing them on to edge out the likes of Poland and Saudi Arabia. I think that's a good shout. I've gone for Argentina and Poland, but I would be delighted if Mexico went through. I'm gonna add another question while I'm at it, actually. Wait a minute, Simon, at Jamaica's best, quote unquote, whatever that could be, could they have been at this World Cup? Prime, I say prime Jamaica, whatever prime could be. Could they have been standing in place and alongside the likes of Costa Rica, Mexico, America? What say you?
I think even if we showed up to our best, if things off the pitch were not taken care of, it still would have been a challenge, because that certainly would have been on the minds of the players. The passports, the preparation, the hotels, the flights, amongst other factors, the admin decisions, getting per diem on time and stuff. You could have had the best players in the world on the pitch. It still would have been a challenge if those factors were not put into play. But for me, we could have squeaked an intercontinental spot. Could have.
I think poor game management was a factor, because there are some games that they could have won and they didn't. They throw it away in the end, or could get a draw from. Also, I think the 4 teams that probably will be in the semi-final going on is are Brazil, Argentina, Germany have a chance, or Spain, but I think France will be there. And I think one of the African countries like Senegal is a team that we should look out for. I think they probably surprise one or two of us. And as Simon said, we would like to see the CONCACAF team do well. And I think Belgium will be a look into as well. So there are many surprises for this World Cup.
There could well be. I'm particularly looking forward to that Canada group with Belgium, Croatia, Morocco, and Canada. I'm a big Brazil fan, Seleção fan, make no mistake about it. But that particular group, yeah, Canada have impressed me so much. Do you think they can get out of that group, Simon? What's your bracket saying?
It has, so for right now, it has Belgium and Croatia, but it just really depends on that goal difference. That's the only reason I have Croatia pipping Canada. It depends on who can gang up on Morocco a bit more. So if Canada has a good day in front of goal, then yeah, Canada could go through. Could. Yeah.
Morocco. That's a very difficult team group for Morocco.
Very, very, very difficult. Very difficult. But as I said, I was mightily impressed with the Canadian effort under John Herdsman as coach. That team, the Canadian fans have got behind that team, and I think that Jamaica could learn so many lessons from a team such as Canada in terms of how they coalesced and got together as a squad, united for a common cause, and put their best foot forward. Players from all over came together and produced a fantastic World Cup qualification in the octagonal. And yeah, that's gonna be a very tasty group. Croatia, Luka Modric. I mean, say no more. He's the kind of player you pay money to actually watch. Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, goodness me, that group there. I mean, yeah, Tielemans, wonderful football. God willing, and hopefully everyone comes through fully fit. I see the likes of England meeting Senegal in the second round, and yeah, Simon thinks that they're going to get a deep run there. It can happen. England have got a talented generation. Makes me laugh when I hear Jamaicans say England are good, England are ready, England are good, England are ready. Them not ready, them not good. I've asked on my show on Richbow Sports, I said, what do they mean by that? And I've asked on Ryan LFC, what are they talking about when they say that? It's a Jamaican terminology. It means that they're not in the top echelons. And if that's the case, they're in the top 5, maybe not in the top 10. Okay, that's interesting. I say it's debatable. I think they're in the top 10 conversation of world footballing nations, 10 to 12. I think, world championship semi-finalists in Russia 2018, European finalists beaten on penalties by Italy. Don't sleep on them. They've got some injury concerns, but don't sleep on them. Give them their respect and give them their dues. But yeah, it's going to take a good team to beat the likes of Argentina, Brazil, Germany. Yeah, Spain. I love Spain. Technically very good. Maybe they don't have the firepower. We'll see. Crystal.
Yes, sir.
Are you still doing your social media? Are you looking forward to any particular team in this, or do you want to stay out of this?
That's a good question. As ever, I'm supporting the team with the blackest players. The most black players, that's the country that's going to be getting my vote because the Reggae Boys didn't qualify. So I just have to focus on the team with the most accurate representation for myself. So who knows who that country will be. I quite like Sadio Mane, so I do like
Senegal.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they're the kings of Africa, and I was supporting them from the start to lift that particular trophy.
Okay.
And like I said, if you guys haven't watched the Sadio Mane documentary, I've never seen it a couple of times. Please do go and watch it because it's just fascinating stuff.
Humble brother.
Humble lion. So yeah, that's the way I'll be doing it. Keeping an eye on the country with the most black the blackest number of players. Don't know who that country is going to be yet, but I need to go do my count. How many black players play for whichever country? The highest number, that's the country that gets my support, because for me it's all about representation. And I think it's safe to say that's the reason why we support our football clubs. There's something in them that represents us, and I think at international level it can't be no different for me anyways. So remains to be seen. It will remain to be seen who I'll be supporting from afar. But yeah, that's about it really.
You're not rooting for England?
That's a lovely question there, but luckily for you, I ate before I came online. So before I did my live, I made sure I filled my belly. So I like that. Nice try though.
Good night, everyone. Good night. Take care.
Good night,
Big up yourself,
Simon.
Mr. Simon.
Bye-bye.
Simon, pleasure seeing you. You take care, man. Proud of you.
Yes, come on, England.
England is like a Liverpool right now, honestly.
Listen,
Have you upset Simon, Crystal?
you've touched a nerve there. I never told you guys to do it, but you touched a nerve. You waited until he was ready to say goodnight, and then you touched a nerve.
I'm an England fan.
He's an England fan and a Man United fan, and you insult the man by saying that his team is like Liverpool. Yeah.
No, right. The thing is, they are a very good team, but I don't know if too much stars are in the team why they are not delivering on the expectations of the fans. We have seen that they have the quality. Definitely, they are not short of quality players, but they just need to get it right at the crucial stages of competition, and that's their downfall. I'm not going to be biased. That's me. When I'm called on to give my opinion, Liverpool is a very good team, but they are very inconsistent this season. That's why I compare them to Liverpool now this season.
It's funny you say that they're inconsistent, though, Mr. Beckford. Again, European champion finalists and World Cup semi-finalists. That's pretty good going, considering it's the world game. World Cup semi-finalists, European finalists only lost on penalties. That's pretty good going. What say you?
Yes, but we want to see them go all the way. If they go all the way and win the final, then the debate is different. But at the moment, we cannot have that debate because it is not what it is. The reality is different.
Okay, Mr. Beckford. No problem. I mean, ultimately, football is a funny game, Only one team, by and large. It's not like the Olympics where you have a high jump and you got two, athletes, like the Barshims and Tambiris sharing a gold medal. At any given championship, only one team ultimately will succeed in winning. The rest of them could be deemed failures, not successful. Only one team lifts the Premier League title. Only one team, Italy, lifted the European Championship. Only one team lifted the World Cup. Does that mean every other team that took part, were failures? I'd love to see what the viewers and subscribers are making of this. I'm going to be looking at the rerun and checking out the comments, which are always a vital part of any live broadcast. Again, thanks to all the commenters and subscribers. Please share the show, and thanks for sticking around. If you need to go or you've gone already, bless and full respect for being a part of Talawa TV with Mr. Beckford, Mr. Preston, and of course the delightful Crystal Davis.
Well, I think without sounding rude, some countries you're just there to make up numbers. You're not exactly going there to challenge, are you? But we can't exactly have a five-a-side World Cup where it's just 5 countries going at it. You're not all making it to the final. That's a fact, because you're not good enough to go to the final. You're there to complete the pack. We have to have a certain number of countries going to the World Cup, and you are a certain number of country. So to say that the rest of the country are failures, no, you're not. It's all about your expectation. What's your expectation of your country? You can't be ranked like, I don't know, something like 62nd in the world or whatever and think that you're going to be kings of the world. So you think that you're going to be better than the country going into the World Cup that's in the top 10 or the top 3 or the top 4? It has to be a miracle. Plenty of brown envelopes have to be passed around for you to be crowned kings of the world if you're ranked 62nd. So no, you're just there to make up numbers. So just do your job and let us enjoy beautiful football and pat yourself on the back when it's time for you to go home from Qatar. But hey, my country isn't there, so I can sit here and say whatever because my country isn't going to Qatar. My girls are going to Australia though. Next year's Women's World Cup taking place in Australia and New Zealand. My country is going to that one, but
Yes, they are.
sadly the boys aren't going to Qatar. But it is pajama weather, guys. So buy your matching pajamas and all blued up. That's something for you to do this World Cup cycle. Ain't like you can do anything better anyways. But come next year, come summertime, you won't need your matching pajamas because we actually be outside at the World Cup. But yeah, this November to December, be booed up with your matching pajamas. Enjoy that one. It's the least you can do.
Viewers and subscribers, I'm going to make a cup of tea, and Crystal, if you need to give me a phone call, the phone will be on and charging.
I'm going to give you a call, definitely.
Bless
Mr. Beckford.
You, Mr. Beckford. Full respect.
All right.
Full respect. I look forward to seeing you on another show. Thanks for coming on, man. Full respect, Mr. Beckford. You've conducted yourself beautifully, and you've been a valuable addition to tonight's bumper installment of Talawa TVs with the Reggae Girlz and other associated topics. We salute, again, viewers and subscribers. I salute commenters. Full respect. Simon, great to see you. Have a great week. And yeah, Mr. Southgate, Simon is he's got your back, and he's standing full square behind your selections, and fingers crossed there are no more injuries. Here's one thing I must say before I go. I must say, you stay there. When it comes to selection and selecting final squads, yes, some people will be disappointed. Fans, families, and players alike, if they are not selected to go on the final journey, i.e. to a World Cup. But this is very important. To the Reggae Girlz, for example, who do not get that call up, lest we forget, we are saluting each and every one of you who have been a part of the journey. You have been a part of the journey that has seen history being made with the Reggae Girlz making back-to-back World Cups. So if you have played a part in the squad on the way to the World Cup and taken on the likes of the Dominican Republic and the Cayman Islands, and you've been a part of the process, we salute you, because we wouldn't be where we are today without your support and your input and your contribution. So bear that in mind when decisions are made. Not easy decisions, but you have been a part of the process. Gentlemen, Reason Boss is over and out. Peace.
Wow, I'm being called a gentleman on my own platform, guys. Hello, I've been called worse. I can take that. No, Mr. Stevens, it's fine. It's fine. And I learn something new about myself every day. Wonderful stuff. Before I forget my manners, massive thank you to you guys there in the comment section. You are the ultimate 12 man. You've been sat here for almost 4 hours, completely unplanned. to be speaking to you guys for such lengthy period of time. Massive thank you to my panelists, Mr. Stevens, Mr. Beckford, and Mr. Preston for coming onto the platform, and also to the lovely Tiffany Cameron as well. That one came out the blue, didn't expect to see her. And before I go, let's just have a quick little recap of what's been said before. Cameron and Shaw's fine form continues for their respective clubs. Kayla McCoy is through to the Sky Sports Cup final with Rangers. And the big one, a special recap for should be the moment of the weekend, if you don't mind me saying so. What that means is Jody Brown and FSU, so that is Florida State University. They have completed the three-peat, so that's Jody Babyface Assassin Brown produced the match winner as Florida State won its third straight ACC championship title, beating North Carolina 2-1 to seal a comeback victory. So there you go. The tone has been set for your brand new week. I hope it's a productive one. Best of luck and safe travel to the Reggae Girls there who are making their commute to competing on home soil in their fixture there against Paraguay. And in case you're wondering what are the dates, well, you should know by now. I sound like a broken record. And if you want to know, you're going to have to rewind and watch this one back on replay. I'm going to have to love you and leave you now because it is 2 a.m. and I need to be up in 3.5 hours time for my dreaded Monday morning. Good luck to each and every one of you who are making your way home from work. I hope that you arrive safe and sound. Mr. Beckford, good night to yourself.
Good night, and thanks again for allowing me to join this wonderful
My
show.
pleasure. Please feel free, even if I don't drop it, I won't always drop the link in the comment section. So even if I don't, just send me a message on WhatsApp and I'll obviously either send it to you on WhatsApp or drop it in the comment section, whichever you prefer.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks to the person in the comment section, and good night, and have a great week as it comes.
Definitely. Thank you so much. And thank you for your continuous support. We'll catch up during the week, especially with the Reggae Girls set to take on Paraguay. I know that's your favorite subject, so we'll definitely speak during the week, okay?
Okay, take care.
All right, take care. Good night. Right then, guys, it's time for me to leave you guys temporarily, of course. This is the worst part. I hate this, but I have to go because I have work. So I'm going to leave you with the lovely headline. Jody Brown sealed the third straight ACC title. Champions once more. Winning is a habit, and she definitely got that in her locker. Long may it continue. And our strike force are striking hard in Europe. I don't think you need me to echo their names because I've been doing that week in, week out. So I'll leave you guys to do the homework as to who I'm referring to. Yes, they do. Long may it continue. Long may it continue. Right, guys, that's me done. If you're new to the platform, please do go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the like button. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm in a rush now because I need to go and prepare myself for work. And I will see you during the week. Until then, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.